Follow me around. Howdy, howdy, everybody. Happy Wednesday, y'all. Hope you're doing good. What's up, Slow Dur? Coming in with the predictable retardation that you always do. Make claims, bite some ankles, leave. We're getting tired of it, bucko. Okay? We're going to send you to your room. You're going to send you to your room, bucko. Chatted the other day about leaving my SBC church, inquiring EO this Sunday. Beautiful. This debate basically confirmed prots have no basis. Too many of my community would align with these clear grifters. Well, yeah, it comes down, I said something before, always shirtless, is that when it comes to practice, like what is Christianity? What are you pushing people toward? If your entire identity is pushing people away from something, Islam, then when someone just goes, well, where do I go, David Wood? And you go, whatever. You know, he actually admitted in this conversation / debate with Andrew that he only cares about agreement on very, what he calls core principles, core Christian sentiments. That's not Christianity, dude. That's literally Jay's argument against you. He doesn't seem to grasp this. Oh, no, just, you know, can't we just, like, agree on, like, Christ is Lord and, like, you know, he defeated death and, like, something like that? Something? No, that's not enough. You can't just take that and take it to the internet and be like, look at these Muslims. Aren't they so wrong? Yeah, we agree. They're so wrong. But Jay's point holds. And for you guys who need some background on this, basically, Jay called out all of the online self-proclaimed Christians, a lot of Protestants, evangelicals, and whatnot, right? On merely making their religion an anti-Islamianity, he called it, anti-Islamianity. And you can't have an anti-Islamianity, okay? You can't have that as your positive position. That's not a positive ontology. That's just more Protestantism against Islam, basically, even if we agreed with it. Now, what happened was Jay utilized a tweet from a Muslim who accurately depicted the problems with the heterodox world. That's all that happened. David took that and said, you're supporting Islam now. Right. And the logic is so twisted. I can't believe it took 2-3 hours for Andrew to basically put David Wood in a wheelchair, in a mental wheelchair, to finally admit that his reasoning is flawed. Completely. Now, we're not going to watch the whole thing. There's a channel, Contemporary Compendium, I'm gonna use here. There's 2 shorter clips that really get to the root of it and really bad, but predictable, right? It's completely predictable. Yeah, there he is. This guy has a pretty good channel. Concise clips. Nice. I've been fleeced. Help me. Yeah, you guys have been fleeced. Yeah, make sure if you're feeling fleeced, send in a super chat. You can make it out to Slow Dur, who doesn't apparently know what fleecing means or grifting at all. But we don't need to listen to him. Comments on David's channel are really stupid. Well, that's what's ironic here. He's calling Jay a cult leader. Andrew asks, what's the criterion for this? He says vibes. Oh, it's cult-like. What do you mean? Okay, it's cult-like. You're cult-like. You're cult-like. See how easy that was? It's my vibes, bro. Is he still pushing Artsa boxes? Probably. Going to your first Orthodox church this Sunday? Beautiful. Glory to God. I can't wait. Yeah, it's great. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. Anyway, so this all had to come to, a head. It's unfortunate that David Wood won't accept a debate with Jay about the true church. Isn't that the most important thing for people, is to come to the true church? Apparently, David Wood thinks otherwise,
David Wood is pro-Zionism and IDF. I agree with what he says about Islam, thus making me pro-raping prisoners and blowing up civilians, including the Christians they torment.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the same logic, isn't it? So that's what's important. And we're seeing this. We're seeing a filtering, right? We're watching this movement away from politics even. We're watching a movement away from political dialectics, just left-right stuff. We're watching a movement away from classical liberalism. We're watching a movement away from Enlightenment ideals. And what happens is there's a filtering system that you can't avoid, David Wood. You can't avoid this. None of you guys can. We can have beers with you guys. We can go to debate cons and have fun with you guys. But what Jay is saying is the uncomfortable truth. You got to pick. You can't be a fence sitter. You can't be in the meadow of Christianity. It's not a meadow. It's a path. It's narrow. You can't be in the meadow. Yeah, but the meadow's nice. Look, we could all make fun of Muslims together. Yeah, it's fun. High five. Cheers. You can't stay in the meadow. Okay, this filtering process is happening, and you're gonna have to choose. Sorry, not sorry. David says Jay is a cult when he is cult buddies with Ruslan. Right? Yeah, Ruslan tried getting Orthodox priests to silence Orthodox Christians. Yes, he literally did a call to action, dude. I covered it. A literal, vocal, public to thousands of people call to action. What the heck, bro? Steelborn, remember, guys, we can't agree with anything Planet Peterson says because then we support evolution. Right. Anyway, cutting down Islam is, honestly, it's easy. Easy eggs in the basket. Is it necessary? Yes. Is it still easy? Yes. Are they a threat? Yeah, they're a long-term threat for sure. Absolutely. But David Wood is completely on the wrong side of everything here, and we're going to take a look. So before we call out the hypocrisy, we'll go to the opening, closing. This is only a short video, but I'm in no rush, you guys. So I figure we could make our way through this. Why not? Why not? Shouldn't be a problem. David Wood looks like one of those moths. You know those the moth that has like the wispy like. I feel like he's gonna fly. I feel like he's gonna attack my light. You guys can't hear this, can you? Hold on a second. I see you. See if it... Come on, dude. Hold on a second. Boomer time. Here we go.
That totally contradicted what Muslims were taught about a lonely world because... there were only a few of us dealing with it, and that allowed everyone to kind of focus on us for death threats and so on. But we kept working away at dealing with Islam and responding to Muslim objections and bringing out all this information that totally contradicted what Muslims were taught about Islam and Christianity and so on. And we kept this up for years. And I was saying for years, like eventually a new generation of Christians is going to come along and they're going to do it better than we could because the foundation will already be laid in apologetics and polemics, and they don't have to learn the technology like some of us old people had to learn back then. They'll be kind of raised in it. So predicted that they would do it better. And all of a sudden over the past 5 years or so, we get this new generation of Christians, and they're crushing it, and they took over Speaker's Corner from the regular Dawa guys and so on, taking over on YouTube, taking over.
Bro, you just sound like you need a rubber room, dude. What are you even saying? He's so nervous too. He's really scared. Andrew's scary. I don't know what he's on about. What are you talking about, dude? Well, to be fair, it's a weird... The prompt, right? You got to refresh if the audio's cutting. Refresh. You guys learn this every single day. You guys have goldfish brains. You're like, oh my gosh, it's cutting out again. Well, every single time. Everyone's like, refresh, refresh. Holy crap. He insisted on this crazy prompt. Such a wild prompt. So retarded. It might as well been, should Orthodox Christians support the stomping of babies' heads in Indiana?
Smoky Man versus Psycho Man.
For real.
Over on TikTok and
so I mean, Andrew, actually good on Andrew for accepting the retarded prompt so that he can get out the real stuff. So he can get David to say the real problems he has. Because you're not going to do it in a debate prompt, clearly. He won't debate the true church. He won't debate all these problems. David Wood should have went to Jay directly about this. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, no. I'll accept a debate with Andrew about Jay, but I want well, come on, man.
So on. So these are good times. We want to keep the momentum going. Dawa has been in absolute panic mode for about the past. They're dealing with the avalanche of apostasy. These guys do not want to engage anymore with people, and you find them actually like hiding in mosques to avoid talking to people like God Logic.
Thank you, B-Sirach.
Anyway, sort of the one of the premier figures in the new generation is God Logic. He'll have 5,000 or 6,000 people watching him live call-in shows with Muslims.
Yeah. By the way, this is why it's so inconsistent from David's position. His whole argument is association fallacy, right? But then God Logic, the first thing that Jay calls out is he goes, listen, dude, you just sent how many thousands of people, admittedly, David Wood just said, thousands of people, sent them to some Judaizer, literally like a Jew camp. He's like, oh, I'm Christian. Oh, yeah, let's go over here. These rabbis, right? That doesn't make any sense, dude. Being anti-something means you define yourself according to that something. You accept something as the norm. Orthodoxy is the thesis of, not antithesis. Yeah.
And
a literal
they're
synagogue.
Really panicking over God Logic. You saw it. Their Dawa champ, Muhammad Hijab. Avery went on there with him, completely crushed him. They had to give out false copyright strikes and stuff like that for complete nonsense and so on. But basically, they're in complete panic mode, and we would like to keep it that way and actually make it get worse and worse and accelerate the avalanche of apostasy.
Oh, the apostasy. I got it. Right. So you're deconverting. Your job, David Wood, is to deconvert Islam, but you don't know the true church to convert them to. What? Convert them to what? Atheism? Is that okay? Is that a win for you guys? Is that a win? Oh, I'm so glad we moved Muslims. Like, that could be worse, actually. A bunch of incest Muslims losing their identity and their theology, left in the pool of modernity and consumerism without anything, without a house to go to, an orphan. This guy gets off on spiritual orphans. David, is that what you're about? The guy was Messianic Jew and Trinitarian. Yeah, and is it true or false? The God Logic was like, oh, he has a ministry. A ministry of what? Do you guys care about anything? Yeah, but the guy was a Messianic Jew and a Trinitarian. Is it true? No, but I mean, it's kind of colloquially true. That's our point. You can't just be like, oh, he's like, almost. You can't be like, oh, Jesus Christ left us a true church, and this other guy has a ministry, but it's a ministry I don't believe in, but by all means, good stuff.
But as we're going along, going out there, going up to Dawa booths and so on, you know the critics are going to come and try to derail things. And I just don't mean Muslims. I mean all kinds of people start seeing what's going on, and they decide that this would be a good thing to derail. And so people are attacking Avery. People are...
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what's consistent about it, is that it's just like any other prot sect. That's the point. That's Jay's point. It's like there's no true church, right, from this view. It's just like shuffling. You're like, shuffle the cards. Oh, we got ourselves a triune God distinction. We got ourselves a resurrection. Oh, okay, what do you got? No true church. Let's just avoid that. Let's just avoid the elephant in the room.
Attacking Avery. And let me go a little back because, so this is...
Jim Bob, talk to Andrew about his beliefs, especially on Islam. You're being blindsided. What do you mean?
He's a guy who, on other issues, like his friend is the one who...
He debates against Muslims. What are you talking about? What do you mean? You're gonna say like, oh, one time Andrew said, you know, Islam is Muslims work together, right? Or find some sort of pragmatic thing that they do well or something. You're gonna be like,
punched Chris in the face in London, and then they'll all say, oh, we don't condone violence, but he clearly does. He tells Christians that if they, you know, approach him like that, they'll be consciously edited out of existence. So that's just threatening people with terms that would not be normal, so you can have some plausible deniability. But on other issues, here's the Orthodox Muslim with Muhammad Hijab on posting a video on God Logic's wife, Christina, Lady Logic, being a...
Dude, this is so retarded. His whole entire argument is Orthodox Muslim. He's not only follows and leads a false belief, Islam, but he goes after someone's wife, okay? Yeah, he's a Muslim, okay? Analogy. If an old king destroys a foe's kingdom, the king had a place for the people to go and assimilate. David destroys without an alternative. Yes. Yep. And you see this, like, look, this doesn't just exist inside of theology. This exists also in the world of politics, right? There's like an accelerationist movement where you want to destroy everything and build from the ground up, right? And there's another view of just like, forget building, just destroy everything anyway. This kind of view where, okay, let's take down the thing that doesn't work, but then you don't have anything to replace it with. Like even Orthodox people are guilty of this. They'll imagine a view where you have this new monarchy, and if we remove this terrible infection called classical liberalism and the Enlightenment fart that we're still in, we totally got, what do you call it? A Dutch ovened. We got Dutch ovened by the Enlightenment philosophers. Like if you remove all of that, like what do you have in response? Well, we'll just mass produce somehow. We're going to clone Orthodox people. We're going to clone. Okay, if you're going to do that, start with some priests because we need priests. So that's what I'm saying. Like this doesn't say anything. David Wood's not saying anything. Ortho and Trad Cath are the only two groups calling out Zionism in the West, and I think that's based. Does that mean I agree with the both on everything? Exactly, you don't.
Whore, and then making a video and cackling hilariously at that. And then, of course, after this, we've got Jay Dyer. Now, I wasn't paying attention to the back and forth because I really don't care. If people want to, if Protestants and Eastern Orthodox and Catholics want to argue about the things, that's totally fine with me. But first, they were saying that Avery basically raided Life's live stream, and then Life raided, I think, Jay
Hudson. Well, look, this is actually what we'd rather see. Someone arguing, even if you argue against Eastern Orthodoxy, take a positive position. What's the church? Where's the church? How do you argue for the church? Where do I go this Sunday? What was church in the 4th century? Whose church was that? These are the questions that Jay would be otherwise asking David Wood if he had the balls to actually debate it, but he doesn't. All he can debate is anti-position, an anti-Islamic position, which goes perfectly hand in hand with his Zionist position. Perfectly. His online theology, his very presence is anti-Islam, anti-Muslim, but also pro-Israel, pro-Zionist. That kind of dialectic is what pays him. That's why people are calling him a grifter, because in the end, if you cared about the truth, you'd really end up talking about what the true church is. So Hudson here is saying, no, Orthodoxy is not the true church. Okay, what is it then?
AP's live stream where he was debating Eastern Orthodoxy or something like this. So the online Orthobro community went after Avery for that as if he's going after Eastern Orthodoxy. And oddly enough, later on, they concluded no. Basically, the story changed that Avery is a grifter because he doesn't attack Christians with different beliefs and so on. So this proves that he's a grifter. But we have it here from the Orthodox Muslim. Again, this is the guy who calls Avery's wife a whore and so on. My 2 cents on what's going on with the Orthobros and Avery. Avery is not interested in your true church, as a matter of fact. He doesn't give a flying donkey's ass about any church being true. He wants to appeal to as many Christians from all...
That's such a good point. He has the most loaded, elastic prompt ever, and still somehow lost. And really his loss, thank you, Josiah, something that is a pet peeve of mine, and Andrew definitely kept his cool, I would have lost my shit, is a pet peeve of mine is when people don't answer questions. Thank you. Because Andrew's questions to David Wood was setting up him to the guillotine, right? And it's really annoying when they don't answer direct questions, because that question is one step up onto the platform. We're just waiting to pull the line or whatever. But they don't get on the platform. That's what's annoying. That's what's really annoying about it. Is an empty EO building the church? No. Are you saying buildings are somehow identical to the body of Christ? No, a building is a thing you use in the world. Through matter, we participate in the sacraments. Church would be included. It's a place that we beautify. We can do EO in the woods. We can do a service in the woods with just trees around us if we need to. So I don't understand what your position. Why don't you tell us? Okay, here we go. Because this is relevant. We can go back and forth between the chat and the video. He says, the true church are those that linked to Jesus Christ by faith in the gospel. This is the foundation of the church. Okay, cool. That's very broad. How did you have access to Jesus Christ in the gospel? How do you have access to that, Hudson? How did you come to know about that? And why would you trust the source that you're using to come to know about the true church, Jesus Christ, the faith in the gospel, and the foundation? How did you know about that? Were you born with that? Did the doctor pull you out of your mom's vagina and go, it's a Christian? I bet not.
Denominations to make as much money as possible. This is why he's friends with Sam, yet friends with Sam's arch enemy, David Wood. He's friends with the Orthobros, but also friends with anti-Orthobros. This guy is a grifter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, the thing, one shot, it's totally bad faith. It's just smear tactics. That's all it is. Well poisoning. Oh, you agreed with one post from the Orthodox Muslim about another thing. Therefore, you support jihadis or whatever. This is the lowest tier crap ever.
Wake up.
We didn't even need to do any work here. David did all... Honestly, Andrew didn't do that much work here.
David feigning ignorance on basic logical entailments was hilarious.
Yeah.
And so you could, if you know Avery, he just doesn't like to get involved with the disputes and so on.
Yeah. Avery, likable guy, nice guy, charismatic, happy, good smile. But that's a cop-out, right? You're going to have to deal with this, Avery. You're going to have to deal with this.
As a sociopathic autist, never argue with a psychopath.
Yeah. Well, he's a self-proclaimed psychopath, right? Right? To his question, an empty church isn't a church like an empty hospital isn't a hospital. Buildings need purpose. Yeah, that's the thing. He's confusing. He's not understanding that the thing he's calling a building is something that gets utilized for a purpose, intentionality. But he thinks church means building means building, and church is some sort of ethereal thing. He holds an invisible church, but if he holds an invisible church, he doesn't have the Bible. That's the point, right? That's why he won't answer this question, probably, wherever he is. He probably ran off already.
But for Orthodox Muslim, this actually proves that he's a grifter. And then you have...
Yeah, good point, Caleb. A building is a parish. That's a good way of putting it, sir.
The response from Jay Dyer. Jay says, bingo. So he agrees with this. Doesn't mean he's agreeing with anything else Orthodox Muslim says, but he's agreeing that Avery is a grifter who doesn't spend his time attacking other Christians because he wants to make as much money as possible. So it's not because he doesn't want to get involved in the inter-Christian debates. It's not because he wants to focus on Islam or cults or anything. It's because he is a grifter. You got that from Jay Dyer. So I responded, and you have my response kind of in the middle there. I said, Muslims and Orthodox.
He did.
Tell me how insanely jealous you are of God logic without telling me how insanely jealous you are of God logic. And Jay...
Dude, that's so weak, David Wood. You're jealous? What? Jealous of what? First of all, Jay Dyer is more influential and reaches more people in different ways than God logic. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know what you're saying, dude. Look, he's exposing his own concerns, apparently, I guess. Where do you get this? This is so, feminine. Oh, you're jealous. What do you mean? Jealous of what? Jealous of what? Tell me one thing there is to be jealous of. There's nothing to be jealous of. What are you talking about?
He replied, leftist tactics again. If I say he said something correct, then I must be in league with them, lol. If I criticize someone, it's only because I'm jealous. None of you have any actual theological arguments about the true church because you war against it. You're an evangelical, lol. And by the way, the reason I said they're insanely jealous is because...
Siding with Islam is... This isn't siding with Islam, dude. No one's siding with Islam. It has nothing to do with Islam. That's like an Islamic person making commentary on the management of the Yankees, and you agree, and you're like, you support Islam. I mean, is this where David Wood's audience is mentally? Mr. No Emotions apparently does have emotions if you touch the right nerve. Yeah, that's debatable, Beck. He almost got choked up, I guess, at a certain point. The next move for the Prots losing or refusing debates is going to be to try to turn the Orthodox creators against each other. Mark my words. Oh, they already try. Absolutely try. They will recreate an internal fight. Yeah, they're going to try to do that. Absolutely. 100%. Probably already setting up their accounts for that.
Because they both commented on Avery's motives, right? They said, aha, he's doing this because he's a grifter. And I said, okay, so we're going to just insert people's motives here. And I said, okay, so it's because you're jealous. And then, of course, he doesn't like when someone's doing it to him. So that's Jay's response. But interestingly, the Muslims involved in the whole situation are really rooting for Jay here. So Dr. Malik says, it's about time Jay Dyer said this about logic, the grifting from him, and then Acts 17, David trying to play the race card. Pathetic. So they're saying Jay is right. And by the way,
did Hudson answer the question or what? Hudson, I asked you a direct question. We have a very strict policy here. If you can't tell me, referencing what you said before, if you don't want to deal with the question, we're not going to engage with you. Do all unbelievers? We don't care. According to Romans 1, I'm asking you how you got access to Romans 1. If you're not going to answer the question, I'm going to kick you. I'm going to kick you out of Jortlandia forever. I have no patience for this. You guys come in hot and noisy in the chat. We ask you a simple question. What was the question? I really despise you. I have a deep hatred for you. What was the question? The question was, you referenced the true church, a historical church. I asked you, because you referenced the gospel, right, and the life of Jesus Christ. I asked you, how do you have access to that? How did you come to know about Christ, the gospels? How did you come to know about the gospels and the church, what you call the church? How did you know? The KJV is the church. Everyone knows this. Yeah, and the paper is Christ. And the paper became paper and lived among us, and the paper walked up willingly on the cross.
Malik here. Malik is the guy who doxed my wife earlier this year, put her phone number on Twitter, her home address on Twitter, on TikTok, and was calling on Muslims to go and deal with this problem. So he's doxed me and my family. He's doxed.
Romans 1 is linked to the faithful believer. Dude, I'm asking you a question again. You're referencing Romans 1. How did you get access to Romans 1? Why do you believe Romans 1? Clearly, you believe a long history of preservation of the thing called Romans 1, right? Fucking retard.
Avery and Christina. He calls Christina a whore as well. IP. He tried to...
Do you think all believers are linked to EO? All right, get him out of here. I gave you your chance. You're booted. Goodbye.
Get the church attack that they spoke at.
Get out of here, maggot.
Most recently, he showed up at the church, gave the address, and said that inside are inspiring philosophy and God logic, who both rip the Quran. Now, they don't. It's a lie. But he was clearly trying to get Muslims to go and attack them. But they're definitely rooting for Jay and so on. But they're also rooting for Andrew here. So same guy, Dr. Malik, the doxer. Hey.
What'd the guy do? He refused to answer a direct question 3 times in a row.
Andrew, I'm the Muslim Diddy Wood is going to use to try to burden shift off the fact he doesn't know his religion and sits with a Zio syndicate. Truth is, this rapist has been ripping Qurans for too long, and we done baked him up, and we expect you to finish the job tomorrow. So Muslim Dawa guys are rooting for you to finish off what they started. And then you got Sam jumping in here. Sam normally hates Jay, but now that Jay is coming after us, suddenly likes him. He says, damn, Jay is on fire.
This is an opener, you guys.
Exposing the self-confessed sociopath and rapist who still needs to go to jail for his crim, since claiming to have become a Christian doesn't absolve him of legal responsibilities. That's Sam. And we have Daniel Hakikachu. I agree with Jay Dyer. God logic is a grifter. In my debate with him, I asked Avery if he accepts biblical inerrancy. He refused to answer, even though the entire debate was about biblical preservation. And it's actually...
Dude, this is your opener? What is this, TMZ for theology? I mean, maybe you got something there. Maybe it's a good idea. So I won't even hate you for that. That sounds like a better idea than what you're doing. And here we have someone I disagree with who agrees with Jay, therefore Jay agrees with them. Here we have another random Muslim who says Jay is right on this one. Just demonstrating that Jay is quite literally about to strap a vest to himself and go to an airport.
Wasn't. It was on the Islamic dilemma. He tried to
change
the subject to inerrancy of the Bible instead of the Islamic dilemma. Avery didn't let him, and so now this is further evidence that Avery is just a grifter. He likes sticking to the debate topic. And finally, we have Andrew Wilson saying, I am a Jay Dyer fan, and I will debate you on these issues you have with him. I believe you mischaracterized and unjustly criticize him. I said the issue I have with him is that he's siding with Dawa Gandhists who are lying about God logic because he's destroying Dawa. So you agree to the topic, should Orthodox Christians support the lies of Dawa Gandhists?
What kind of, so those of you who saw my answer to this, I think I actually, among many others, ratioed him with my answer. Basically said, how this prompt is so retarded, it makes me want to hit my dad with a hammer.
Who promote violence against Christians and threaten to rape women. I accept. We can debate this on my channel. Pick a day. And Andrew said, okay, let's do tomorrow. I'll even take the BS prompt just to watch you evade the actual topic when I bring it up. So that's the background for everyone. And yeah, I have a problem with...
At least Andrew came out right off the bat and just told him, I'm going to bring up the actual topic. Not going to pretend to, okay, cool, let's agree to a nonsense prompt that you might as well say, like, you know, should Orthodox Christians support that their children be fed?
If you want to criticize God logic, that's one thing. If you...
This is what women do? You're in the chat, dude. Are you a female too then, or what?
Are actually being cheered on by the Dawagandists as they attack him because they want him out of the way and they want to discredit him, and you actually help them, then I think you got a problem and you need...
Drew, the debate was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. It really, like, in the end, it had nothing less to do with the topics and more to do with exposing how David Wood thinks, or the lack thereof, right? He doesn't logic well. He doesn't logic well.
Need to correct it, but the Orthodox
This is an opener.
don't think there's any problem here. All right.
All right. What the hell was that? What the?
Horet kliklingen from Hakri helium of a dear crucifilio bocafratanga and Nelio to the General Brother Gligri.
Already a better opener.
Y'all good?
Yep.
Are you okay?
Okay. So I don't know about any of this shit because I was asked to come on and debate a specific prompt. That prompt specifically has nothing to do with any of this. Nothing. The prompt is, should Orthodox Christians support the lies of Dowinists who promote...
Keep in mind, Andrew's tweet back was, watch, you're going to change the topic to something else. It actually would have been in David Wood's favor to hold just to the dumb prompt, honestly. But he couldn't do it. He had to make it about Jay. Where in the prompt did it have anything to do with Jay?
I won't help in your goal. Ja.
Thank you very much. Already got this next Bad Faith stream pick loaded for tonight. Featured Jay, Sam, and two Dawa. Amazing. He won't just sack up and talk to Jay directly. Yeah.
Promote violence against Christians and threaten to rape women. That is the prompt we agreed to, correct?
Yep.
Okay, great. And you're affirming that they should not, obviously, right?
I would say they should not.
Okay, great. So my position on this...
Oh, hold on. Vagine has something to say.
At another point in the debate, Wood claimed Muzzies are more dangerous than they've ever been, while also neglecting to mention that he and his crew antagonize them every chance they get and they know it'll piss them off.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You know, he trolls them. Some of it's actually kind of funny, a bit risky, I would say, some of it. I mean, he dressed up... Didn't he, like, dress up as the Quran once or something like that? That's kind of like Alex Stein level. Now, if he like actually leaned into that, if he became like the Alex Stein is to liberal crazies, you know, or should I say, David Wood is to Muslims what Alex Stein is to blue-haired crazies, you might have yourself something there. Maybe people wouldn't pick on you so much. But you come at us. You come at Orthodox people, right? We're going to still say, look, your position's insufficient. Ultimately, if you deconvert a Muslim and they go, brother, thank you so much, brother, where do I go? And you don't have an answer, you're not doing much, bro. The actual debate lasted 10 minutes, and then Wood kept going around in circles. If bad person A says Proposition P and you agree, then you affirm the worldview of person A and are responsible for everything. Yeah, it's the lowest tier stuff. I can't believe it lasted that long.
This, since you're trying to burden shift to Jay Dyer or something, which is strange because your audience was just adamant that I would be the one who shifted the burden, yet it's you. I would say sometimes they should. And I brought 3 logical examples for the 3 times that sometimes they should. The first is a legislative example. Dearborn, Michigan's new representative, let's say Muhammad Oman, husband, brother, cousin to Ilhan Omar, has threatened to physically assault and rape Arizona's Orthodox Christian woman, Christina, who has also said he secretly loves Planned Parenthood because it kills the white Christian babies. Though his supporters don't like this, in an attempt to garner more support, he proposes the No More Abortion Bill, which unsurprisingly bans abortions nationally. This will only be able to pass due to him getting support from his wife and her getting the rest of the squad to flip, causing it to barely pass the House and likely go through the Senate.
I mean, in short, it's like, let's take abortion. Let's say Muslims in some state that you share residence with agree to ban abortion. Let's say they do that. By David Wood's logic, you're supporting Islam. If you agree with them on the prompt, let's ban abortion. Now swap abortion or any other position with the Jay Dyer reference, and you see how stupid this is.
Should she support this bill and his lies to ban abortion as an Orthodox Christian, knowing that he is a Zionist who threatened to grape women and wants violence on Christians? Or should she go against this lie and allow millions of unborn babies to die? That's a moral conundrum, David. Should the Orthodox Christian in this scenario support that Zionist and his lies or not?
Could have made up a better argument. No, the hypothetical's fine. It's a real world position where, taking one side on one matter is not the same as taking the same side on another matter. It's just a basic. I mean, it could have been about pretzel. You know what I'm saying? It could have been about a pretzel.
Just curious. Can you give me the answer, please?
Oh, he doesn't answer anything.
We can conclude by good inference, according to you, that Jay is trying to form an alliance between Dawa guys and Eastern Orthodox to get rid of his enemies. As far as
get rid of his enemies? What are you, in a treehouse? What are you, dressed up as G.I. Joe with your friends in a treehouse right now?
Serious, because I don't believe
These people are lunatics. Get rid of his enemies? What?
in that inference. Not when you guys are doing it, and not when I'm doing it
You
here.
hear that?
Yeah, the only thing would be, again, you can deliberately try and help someone. That would be one thing. You can kind of
What does that even mean? I actually want to know what you mean by that.
be where you shouldn't be, but you're affirming something that they use, and it's a different kind of responsibility. You could believe Avery's a grifter and then say it, which you should be doing it with better evidence, or you could just be making it up to attack someone, or you could just be helping a random Dawa guy who's baiting you, and so you'd be kind of a gullible dope, useful idiot who did it by accident, not intentionally, in which case you should just be more careful with what you're doing when you're sending out attacks against.
Now, keep in mind some of the previous nonsensical drama was like people sending massive groups chats over to proclaimed anti-EO liars like JP Uncut and these like low-tier goblins, right? Like, where's the consistency there, buddy?
These people. So you can.
Am I closing now?
Yeah. Hang on. Just. Last sentence or two.
No problem.
So the idea is multiple possible explanations. They're all
Absolutely.
problematic.
Absolutely.
No matter what's going on, he was doing something then he shouldn't have done. But depending on what his intentions were and what he knew, it would be various levels of moral culpability. But
What?
Got it.
in any
So
situation, it's wrong.
Yeah, so here's my closing. David Wood gave me a bullshit prompt, which I beat him on within, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes on his own prompt, which was a bait prompt, which is hilarious. From there, here's what we determined. We don't know if Jay Dyer had a set of facts about anything to do with this particular Muslim attacking Avery. We have no clue if he knew any of this. David Wood has called him a cult leader and then backtracks on that and says, no, I don't mean an actual cult. I mean it is a different kind of cult, but then can't explain how he's not the same kind of cult leader as Jay based on the same types of posts that their various audience.
Vagina has something to say. Hold on.
Do all non-doms sound that ignorant when defending their epistemology?
Yes, well, you have to. There's no way to defend the epistemology. You can't take a non-denominational or any heterodox, honestly, position. Even a positive denomination claim, when you press a denomination, not even a non-denomination. When you press a denomination, that's why Jay is so targeted at people who claim Christianity as a positive, as opposed to just the negative of what it's not. It's not Islamic. It's not Mormon. It's not this. It's not that. Yeah, I get it. Sort of an apathetic approach to what's not Christian. Great. We all agree, I think. But do we? Do we agree? Well, that's what Jay's after. He wants some of these big, hard-hitting, larger audience streamers and talkers and teachers like David Wood, who's super influential, still influential, to actually defend their position. They don't. They defend a position, an anti-position.
Audiences make. It's fucking crazy. That's the second point. The third point is that we have more facts about what happened between the stream with Avery and why it would be that Jay would assume that you guys won't defend any of your positions ever on anything, but utilize them to bludgeon the opposition, may perhaps be grifting, especially when it comes to the fact that when we take these sets of evidences for where you draw your inferences, which you don't know anything about whether or not Jay had any idea, no clue at all if Jay had any idea about these various attacks on Avery. Your whole fucking attack on him is just based on one thing, which is that he said bingo to a Muslim about him believing that Avery's a grifter, and they're now using it against you, even though by your own logic, if he had said the exact same proposition, Muslims would still be using that against you. You say both of these things are actually incorrect, but isn't it awful convenient that it leaves no pathway for which to attack you in your pro-Muslim alliance, because it'll always help Muslims if we do so? That's really weird, man. It's a very convenient set of facts for you, which seems to...
What was their point in all of this? Well, it's like, I actually don't know. In the end, it's like David is coming out swinging because Jay is at the same time going up against Protestantism and its influencers, necessarily so, knowing that in the defeating of their paradigm, there's a place for them to go. Here's the path. Follow my hand. Point it that way. Go to Divine Liturgy. Everybody in the chat. How many we got in the chat? Everyone go to Divine Liturgy. Now, Jay's attack on someone like David Wood or Avery is they know about the true church. They know it's something worth looking into and worth maybe even arguing against if they hold that position. And Jay's forcing their hand. He's saying, look, this is what matters most. What matters most isn't all gathering and singing Kumbaya against the Muslims, okay? That's easy. That's like arguing against the trans people. It's not that hard. Where are you going to bring them when you deconvert them? David? Please, David, answer the question. You won't. Answer the question. Where are you sending people who you deconvert from Islam? Where are you sending them? Nowhere.
Put you in a position where you just can't be fucking attacked ever. You can't be attacked, because if we do, it's just going to embolden the Muslims. So Jay Dyer, who's an Orthodox apologist, whose entire job is to refute all of your worldviews, if he ever agrees with anybody.
We hate unity. Did Christ divide? Pufferfish? Did Christ divide? Y'all just hate unity. Yeah, we reject unity because you can't unify two incompatible things. You can't unify something that's false to the church, to Christ's body. Y'all hate unity. You're gay.
That you're grifting, or that you're liars, or that your whole worldview is...
Unity in what? A false... How can we have unity? What are you talking about? Yeah, we hate falsity. We hate lies.
It's false, then that's actually enabling Muslims, and so there's an Orthodox Muslim alliance, and that is actually the position. I reduced it multiple times.
Diversity is our unity. Diversity, incompatibility. This is so. I mean, it's perfect. He's like, whoever that is a perfect representation of this guy's. He's the cult leader. That's what's crazy. He's the cult leader.
We're never able to defend it ever. All you're trying to do is create a situation in which you're completely immune from criticism by then pivoting and saying this emboldens our enemies against the pro-Muslim alliance. Now, to make
You guys hate putting poop in your sandwiches. You guys just hate putting poop in your sandwiches.
some caveats here and try to put out a few olive branches, right? I don't have any problem with Avery. I like the guy. I've talked with him on the phone a bunch of times, okay? Never been anything but nice to me, never been anything but kind to me, okay? I like inspiring philosophy. I like those guys, okay? I do. But when your buddy gets up at the bar, you get up with him. That's how it works. That's always how it works. And in this particular case, the most interesting part of this is that I find out that you guys actually really don't have any facts of the matter at all to make any refutations about why it is that Jay Dyer thinks you're all a bunch of grifters. You gave me a bullshit prompt and then said Jay came in to debate you about you being grifting. You wouldn't bring up theology. You gave me a bullshit prompt. Then when I beat you on the prompt, shifted right to Jay Dyer, which is fucking crazy. It's like everything you say is circular and it refutes itself over and over and over again. When we get into inferences themselves, we do evidentiary-based inferences, find out there's more facts on my side than facts on your side. It's like, I don't even know where you go from here, because all you're stating ultimately is that any
Show a clip. Yeah, I showed that a couple days ago. The clip of Avery pushing people to the rabbis.
criticism, whichever comes your way, if it's agreement with a Muslim, then that is now an attack on your group. And so you're immune from criticism. Now that, my friend, is what sounds like a fucking cult. So I'll just leave it at that.
Exactly. All right, so there's that. I mean, that's just the opener, but this is where the real death blow comes in. And, you know, honestly, if you're doubling down on David Wood, right, because you loved his show, and you loved him in AP, and you loved him in IP, and all these, like, panel talks, and you love gathering and throwing rocks at Muslims, ironically, I get it, okay? It's fun. It's like camaraderie. You feel like you're a part of on the right team, right? You're on the right side of history and all that. Yeah, I get it. I get it. But it's not far enough. It's not far enough. And you're going to be pressed on it. Every single one of you. You're going to be pressed on it. And what's worse is that you know it's not far enough. You know it. That's why you don't debate it. You know it's not far enough. Funniest thing is that Jay has to be represented by Andrew. Jay is so strong for these grifters. Jay doesn't have to be represented. Jay is too strong. Oh, you're saying that they just won't, right? They'll take the substitute. Yeah, I know. They like hippie Jesus and said, forgive your enemies, but don't like mean Jesus that said, yeah, bring a sword. Yeah, they don't like that, right? That was the closing. Yeah, this is actually... this is the killer during the debate.
But let me ask you a different hypothetical. If somebody, for perchance, said, took something like this hypothetical that you gave, and then made a claim that somebody was a cult leader, do you think that said person should be able to give...
Dude, look at it. Even this is like the... You know what this is? This is like the classical liberal version of... They are the classical liberals of theology.
Took something like this hypothetical that you gave, and then made a claim that somebody was a cult leader.
Jihadi tears, right? He's a theological reflection of the Daily Wire. You just swap the blue-haired liberals. That becomes your definitive ontology, right? Help us fight the liberals. Yeah, liberal tears. Everything's about the liberals and the blue hairs. They're disgusting. They hate liberty, right? Same thing. The jihadists are the alternate version of the blue-haired liberals, and you can make these cups like liberal tears, right? Liberal tears, jihadi tears. There's a reason why that cup works for David Wood and his philosophy, isn't it? It's the same thing. These people are not actually examining their holistic paradigm. They're lulberts. That's why they don't want to get narrow with the path, because narrow with the path suddenly means, wait a second, now I have to actually confront the tension between liberty and duty. That might mean I examine the law. That might mean I trample on someone's liberty for the sake of my religion. Ruh-roh. No. Let's get, like, his fight for this, right? He doesn't want to deal with this because he wants to keep this industry. Like, this is an industry. He wants to keep the industry with this dialectic of, like, general Christians against the meanie pants and robes. General Christians versus the liberals who want to destroy everything. But then you go, wait a second. What if it's the case that your Protestant non-denominational theology is itself liberal? What happens then? He doesn't want to deal with this. So he won't. He won't deal with this. And that's the real grift. That's the real grift going on with these types. It's that exact thing, that paradigm right there that gives them that cup, jihadi tears. It's the same exact thing as Ben Shapiro. That's why they line up so well. Oh, we're in unity against these monsters. But by the way, there's no true church. Ruh-roh.
Do you think that said person should be...
Does he ever talk theology? Not really. I mean, he's done theology debates. It's not his, admittedly, for many of us, it's not our strongest point.
Be able to give the criteria for how that person's a cult leader.
Sure.
Okay, can you give me the criteria for why you think that...
Alchemist, what do I chant while praying over a fibula? Go to Divine Liturgy. We already told you the answer, dude. How many times are we going to tell you where the door is? But you keep showing up to a chat. What did I say? Orthodoxy is not online. Stop asking us questions about orthodoxy. It's not online. It's at the parish. Go to the church. We told you where it is. Oh, yeah, but I don't want to go to the source. I like to go to the meandering stream in the wilderness and sip tiny sips of the water. We already told you, dude.
There's certain Orthodox Christians who are prominent in the space. I guess we won't name names because it's all purely hypothetical.
You can name names all you want.
Oh, okay, I can then. Okay, so why is Jay Dyer cult leader?
The door's over there.
Right there. I'm thinking in terms of cult tactics. Yeah, seems pretty culty, man.
What? I don't know.
Wow, David. Wow. David Wood on epistemology.
What? I don't know.
Right there. I'm thinking in terms of cult tactics.
Cult tactics. Andrew, looking for the criterion. It's reasonable. There is like a pretty obvious, there's a pretty good reduction of what the constituents of a cult are that most of us can just agree on, right? We just grant it. There's a list. But instead, David ends himself. Yes, you've earned the slow-mo, David. Yes.
Yeah, seems pretty culty, man.
You get the whole song today, David. You get the whole song, David. Get the whole song. You get the whole song. Didn't want to do it to you. Didn't want to do it. Today, you do get the whole song. Seems pretty culty. Seems pretty culty. It feels kind of culty. David Wood sure is sounding like a bagel. He doesn't even need an early life, dude. It's his current life. Cult tactics. That's S-tier debate right there. Cult tactics.
What? I don't know. Oh, you vibed it?
You vibed it.
Did you just vibe it out, David?
You vibed that out?
That's some incredible logic. Oh, okay. So what's the criteria we're using then?
Cult tactics.
What is that?
Let me put it this way. So,
oh my gosh, cult tactics. Hey, this seems like cult tactics. Andrew, what's your criteria? Cult tactics. You big dum-dum? I remember one time David Spade, he doesn't care if someone leaves Islam and becomes an atheist as long as they aren't a Muslim anymore. Yeah, that would actually be a really fine clip to get for maybe tomorrow or the next day, okay? That would be great. Now, am I surprised by it? No. That's the critique, isn't it? That's exactly the critique. I don't care if I leave them in a vacuum of consumerism and liberalism. As long as they're not Muslim. I've did my job. By the way, buy Artsa box. Hey, buy Artsa box. Holy cow! That is a big super chat! Thank you so much, Echo. Very generous. 50 big buckaroos. My first liturgy was this past Sunday. Glory to God. I'm attending a catechism class after work. I'm nervous. My biggest obstacle is getting over the filth of my life, military career, personal choices. I'm not a coward. If I can attend, anyone can. Absolutely. No excuses. And by the way, learn everything there is to learn. The catechism never stops. Even my own priest, I asked him when his catechism was. He says, still is. As far as the rest of that stuff, you're going to do a lifetime confession. So, and it never ends. Why? Because we're chief sinners.
So you side with the, let's suppose you side with the Dawa guys. Dawa guys make up something about Avery in order to discredit him, and you agree. And then when someone says, hey, look what you just did, they're attacking Avery because...
Where is liturgy? Yeah, liturgy is at a physical place. Sometimes it's not in a physical building. Sometimes in desperate moments, it's actually outdoors or somewhere else. The question is, what is liturgy, not where is liturgy, dude? Are you going to argue that your existence right now is not material, partly material? That's like, your criticisms is so stupid because right now you hold a view that being Christian, to act out being Christian in the world is going to be a physical practice, right? Or you just do a mental one like the trans kids. You're a Christian in your head? You did good deeds in your head? Think about what you're saying, dum-dum. Oh, it's physical? Oh, so it's physical? Wait, so Christ was embodied of physical... Christ took on a physical human? So you're saying Christ is physical? Okay. You're saying Christ's body was physical. Is that... Oh. Is that what you're saying?
They're trying to rest.
So you're saying Christ isn't an invisible mind person in my head only?
Rescue Dawa from him, and you're actually helping him.
Now. You're giving an example. You're giving an example.
Let's get the goal. I need stream tonight. Right now, sorry. Major computer problems at work must be resolved. Thank you so much for that, Snaggle Beast. Virgine's going to talk again.
You would think these sola scriptura types would fathom Matthew 10:34. Do not think that I came to bring peace on earth. I did not come to bring peace but a sword.
Right. Justin says, to refute where is liturgy, we live a liturgical life. Right. Any movement towards Christ and his church is liturgical. Liturgical is the service. Yeah, it's the people's work. Isn't bound to a building. Yeah, it's ongoing. We live Orthodoxy is a liturgical life. It's a liturgical existence. That means all of our movements, everything, obviously, it's difficult. It's more simple to say than to actually do. But the idea is that you live a life that's liturgical. I wish these people would just go to liturgy and learn from the source instead of online. The wine is not physical. What do you mean the wine's not physical? Wine's not physical? You don't even know what you're talking about. You just refuted yourself. How are you going to argue for a praxis in Christianity that isn't expressed through physicality? Can you tell me? It's just going to be in your mind, right? Right? Just your mind, right?
Example of a thing that we have not even established yet. What are cult tactics? What are they?
No, I'm getting to that just to give the little background.
Can you just tell me what cult tactics are?
Hey, is the Bible physical? Hudson, is the Bible physical? Is that a physical item in the world, or what? Or are you going to move towards an uncreated object?
Cult tactics? Oh yeah. You have you get a group. You try to isolate them. You use certain manipulation tactics, such as you use positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, punishment, and so on to get people.
I agree.
Only acting and reacting in certain
so now
ways
I get
and
it.
so on.
I agree with this. I would say that the number one way to delineate a cult from a religious organization, a legitimate one like Christianity, let's say, would be the ostracizing their friends, family, and support network. Can you give me any examples of Jay Dyer ostracizing from his community or telling his community that they need to get rid of their support network, friends, or family, or does he do the opposite of that?
Yeah, freeze frame, all-star, I am a genius.
You don't have to have that for a cult, but
I think it's the number one.
There was no wine, it's just symbolic. Oh, there's no body either then, right? Digital content? Everything's symbolic.
Criteria for a cult. Yeah.
Andrew, like seriously here. You know what we say when
there was no full fish multiplication. That was just a symbolic. Jesus is symbolically portrayed early on as a fish. And, he actually didn't perform miracles that were physical through the physical world. It was symbolic. It was just a gesture.
You know what we mean when someone is...
I don't think people understand, and we're not going to get into it today, but I don't think people quite understand that the physicality that Christ took on itself, that archetype is all throughout the theology. Like you're like, oh, it's just a symbol, you might as well say Christ wasn't a real person. He was just, what is it, Docetism? He was a figment. He was an avatar. Might as well. He was just a symbol, a concept symbol.
Saying something, and his followers are acting, and they see.
No, I don't.
It's both and, by the way. That once you get into Orthodox theology and metaphysics, you realize the necessity of both and. You realize that that the both and is embedded in the very structure of reality. Both and.
I don't know what you mean, or I wouldn't be.
It's not a either or. It's not a one or a many. It's a one and many. It's not a purely physical or purely this. It's you guys are so materialistic.
Yeah.
It's all just not like garbage. Like your attempt to try to even undermine Eastern Orthodox theology and metaphysics is such an expose of your current paradigm.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't, or I wouldn't be asking you. So once again, when I look at the criteria for cult, we can go down them.
Okay, if you're thinking of some official,
like that's the thing, Justin. It's like once you see that, everything else is like sort of like an extrapolation of that. The reason people reject all of the extrapolations, they'd have to use against Christ himself. Be like, no, he wasn't a bridge. You got to turn his ontology into something else, right?
Cult organization. That's not what we're talking about. If you have a group,
it's really convenient that that you all can ask all the questions you want, and Protestants mock and never answering any. I told you, go to liturgy. You guys don't have a source or a church. Notice how, that's like an expose on you, dude. When I ask a Protestant something, guess what? They never say go to the true church. They say, well, from my opinion, if you go to the scripture, they say go to the scripture. That's the thing in question, Alchemist. Maybe you're starting to get it now, buddy. Oh, it's really convenient that the true church has a place and a time in reality that's never changed. Yeah, it is convenient for us, actually. It's beautiful. It's very inconvenient. You don't have it.
Brown woman, but I remember this really smart fellow named Father Deacon Ananias saying that anyone who is not Orthodox doesn't know how to read. Ja.
Are you thinking about this, Alchemist? This is a perfect comment to showcase the difference. The difference is we, as Orthodox, can point you to the church. You have no pillar of truth. You're the church. Just your head. Your mind is your church. You're the bishop. You're the pope. You're the apostle. You're the disciple. You're the prophet. You're everything. That's our critique, dude. Where do I go, alchemist, this weekend? Where should I go? Well, in your head. You should go to your head, the church of my head. Oh, it's really convenient you guys have a 2,000-year-old unchanged theological practice, and your liturgies go back to the 1st century. Really convenient.
Group,
So you made it up?
online, on X. No, it's just how we use the term cult, man. It's
No,
like
it's
if
not how we use
it's
the
like
term
if I
cult.
say this guy's a douche, and you say, well, here are the ingredients. You need water and vinegar. Are you saying this
No. A douche, that's a little more socially acceptable.
person is made of
You douche.
vinegar? And where is this? You know what we're talking about, man.
Really?
And you know,
Because
you know.
when
Head church, yeah. Where do I go? Well, you can sign into my mind this weekend.
Say
when I-
you know
that's
what we're
funny.
saying
Go to my chat room.
when we say that someone is a cult, when the people just simply follow whatever he said, even if it's completely
What is Jesus Christ right now in his very moment? Go to Divine Liturgy.
idiotic, and they're
Really?
incapable
of thinking anything else, and all that.
Jimma, please read Proverbs 6. God hates that he soweth discord among brethren. No. You're just equivocating discord. Brethren. What's brethren? You're not brethren. You're not Orthodox. What are you talking about? You think anyone who's breathing is brethren? Get out of here. Sven. Do better. Be more.
All they do is cling to what that guy said.
Oh yeah, you guys don't want. What were the councils? So everything that Saint Irenaeus did against heresies, God didn't want, Sven. They're really showing up today, aren't they? They're really in full force. These people. How many of you guys? Look, my normal rate viewership is like 600, 700. Yeah, they're all here, brethren.
That even if it's completely wrong,
Discord in the church, brethren, in the church, one church. People? Oh, just any person? Stop it.
and
You know, the pagans come in, they start burning babies, and we're all, hey, stop that. You're going to be taken out as a nation. Sven comes in, no, guys, wait. Have you ever thought that Christ didn't want any discord among brethren? You should be ashamed of yourself. Actually, you know what?
What will you say if I told you I was mentally retarded?
Shame.
What will you say if I told you I was mentally retarded?
Shame.
What will you say if I told
Sven,
you
go to
I was
liturgy.
mentally retarded?
Shame.
What will you say if I told you I was mentally retarded?
The Harry Prouders are
What
here.
will you say if I told you I was mentally retarded?
Shame.
What will you say if I told you I was mentally retarded?
Shame.
What will you say if I told you I was mentally retarded?
I should make it go to liturgy. I should have a sign. Go to liturgy and just go to liturgy.
Is that
and
what you
they-
mean?
You should read. Hey, Sven, are you starting to understand why you can't just take scripture and just say whatever you think it means? That if you said that in what? If you said that in the year 500, people would be like, "What are you talking about, dude?"
They
mean when you say
fall back.
Mormons?
They fall back. They fall back.
Protestantism,
No,
yeah.
I'm using. I would
Are
say
Mormons a
Mormonism is a
cult?
cult and a different. I've already
Oh,
explained.
okay, got it. So what you're saying is that you have different criteria for the things that you call a cult, and so when I ask you for the specific delineation, you're just saying, "Man, it's fucking vibes,
Liturgy
bro.
bus,
It's fucking vibes, bro."
liturgy shuttle.
Even though I use this term specifically in a religious connotation for Mormons, completely differently than how I use it apparently for Jay Dyer, because man, you know what I mean, bro. You know what I mean.
I agree with Ephesians. Yeah, but dude, who cares what you agree with? You have no true church. You have no pillar of truth. It's just you reading the scripture. Where did you get the scripture, Sven? Why would you, dude? Why would you even appeal to scripture, dummy? I'm sorry to be mean. Yeah, but I read this, and I read this, and I opened the scripture. Dude, the scripture was liturgical, Sven. You can't just pick up the scripture and make up what you think what you want it to mean, man. Yeah, it's a beautiful scripture. I have it actually in one of my books. I put it as the quote in the beginning. We agree with you. But the thing is, you got to push further, man. You got to go further. You can't just sit there at, in your at your garden with the Bible. Damn Gutenberg.
Cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks.
Unbelievable. Bingo Dono Drive. What's up, dude? Good job here last night. It's like a dog. It was like dog training. Like dog. Who's that guy? Is the dog whisperer? It's like a dog. It's like a dog whispering training, thing happening.
Andrew, bro.
Yeah.
It was like focus. It's like sit. Okay, put your paw up if you heard the question correct. Put your paw up.
When I call it cult name.
It's a good doggy.
I talk about Dawa
That's
guy.
a bingo. That's a good doggy bingo.
And just programming people and filling their heads with lies and teaching them to react in certain ways and give certain responses that make no sense and keep them sort of detached from reality. And I say, you guys are a cult. No, I don't mean you are like the official cult of Mormon.
Oh, I'm just, come on, man. What a cop-out, man. If you're going to call someone a cult leader, at least mean it.
Or something like that. You know this.
I think you do mean that Darwinist guys are an official cult because they follow the same source criteria.
That would be in a different
clickers.
sense from if you said Islam is a cult or something like
He needed Hassan's electric collar.
like that. I'm saying the way they function, it's bad.
I'm saying the way they function is identical to the way you would use it for Mormons. What's the delineation point?
Oh, this is so good. This is so good.
No, the way I'm talking about Dawa guys, no.
Okay, what's the
not the same.
delineation point? What's the demarcation here?
There I'm talking about, so you have Islam, if you wanted to call that some sort of...
Dude, this entire conversation is David going, please, Andrew, Jay, all you ortho bros, don't take away my scapegoat. That's all it is. Guys, it's the same thing with the people more focused on opposing the Jews, which I'm all for, than actually focusing on converting people to Christianity, liturgy, getting priests. We need priests, right? It's the same thing. Like, you take away their scapegoat, they're like, how dare you, right? Well, no, I'm not gonna take away the list of people that are oppositional to Christ. I'm not gonna take away your obligation even to denounce them and refute them, right? Rebuke them. But for what? Why? Oh, yeah, so we can convert them to atheism and materialism. Yeah, okay. No. Now I'm going to rebuke you, David Wood.
Of cult or something like this, but them taking a group
That's right,
and then over time keeping them from being able to think anything outside of what their favorite Dawa guy
What's
says.
the difference between that and Mormonism?
Mormonism has
That's
extra
right.
Mormonism has a lot of extra things in it.
What? Well, what? They're doing
Mormonism
the exact
has
same
different
thing.
things
What are you
than those
talking
tactics.
about?
Zionism is one of the biggest cults, and David Wood loves it. This is an entire projection, dude. He's lucky Andrew didn't use Zionism. Mormonism is good because it's not as charged, but he just as well could have said Zionism, and but this guy would have ran off somewhere crazy.
When you're saying that these guys are a cult and the Darwinist guys are a cult, when you say Mormons are a cult, you're meaning it the same way as when you say Darwinists are a cult. You did not give me a single delineation. You just said they also do more of other things too. What's the delineation though? What?
If you're talking about Mormonism being a cult or Islam being a cult, all right, we're using the term, we're using the cult definition
as he should.
Is used for real actual cults and so on. When you say you've got some subgroup that programs people not to be able to think outside of what they're told and so on, that can be separate, right? Because Islam is already like that. The Dawa
This is
guys
just a word salad. Tell me.
A grifter is someone who sells something that they can't deliver on, game caller. So look, if you agree with that, someone who sells something that they can't deliver on. Avery sells Christianity and he can't deliver on it. David Wood sells Christianity and he can't deliver on. That's why you could make the case that they're grifters. If you define a grifter as that, someone who sells someone something that they can't deliver on. Clean cut. Tell me where you disagree. You shouldn't need a scapegoat when he was the paschal lamb for us all. That's right. Yeah, scapegoating is a, ironically, it plays into the all-time all-star scapegoaters throughout humanity and Christendom. Oy vey.
The demarcation.
No.
The delineation.
Let me break it down for you. The Dawa guys, they program people to the point where you can point out that what they're being told even contradicts the Quran itself. They don't care. You can show them it contradicts what Muhammad said. They don't care.
Jim Bob, half black dot. Here is free catechism for the Protestants. The bread of the Eucharist is the manna from heaven that the believers ate through the desert. The wine is an offering in accordance with Exodus, Leviticus and Numbers. The water is the everlasting water that flows from the rock that Moses struck, which is the connection to the rock by which Jesus established his church. When Jesus was stabbed, blood and water came out. However, when he led the Last Supper, he called the wine his blood. All of this is physical, all in scripture, all carried on throughout church history. Brought nerds rewind and learn.
Yeah, dude. Stop interacting with chuds like me. I'm aggressive. I'll bite your head off. Go to liturgy. Go to where the nice people are. That's what you're asking for anyway. That's the funniest part about all this. These people use 3 people tops online to argue against orthodoxy. 3 people. 4 people, maybe. Yeah, go to liturgy. You'll be like, oh wow, you guys aren't really. I thought online was orthodoxy. It's not.
They only
How's
care
that different
what
than
the
Mormons?
leader is.
That's no different than Mormons. You could show them why Joseph Smith was a.
He went on a show and said I became Christian a year and a half ago. No, he didn't. Where is that?
How?
Yeah, what I just said about Dawa guys, that over time you program people not to be able to think anything other than what the leader of the group thinks.
And you show me how. No, I don't want you to just reaffirm the case. I want you to show me the case use now. How?
How Jay's,
Can you show me
Jay's
how?
doing that?
Yes, how?
Yeah. How?
Oh, it's just the reactions. Everyone gives the exact same reaction. It makes no sense.
Oh my gosh, dude. I think Andrew actually expected more from him, honestly. I think I did. You know? There's something about him, right, where it's like, yeah, he's kind of like, what's the show about the killer? You know? The charismatic killer guy? What do they call that show? I don't watch it. You know, the serial killer who's likable and stuff like that. You'd think, oh, well, there's some genius there. You know what I mean? Maybe that's a misconception. Maybe there's a misconception that, like, someone who's willing to, like, hammer their dad in the head, maybe has some, like, weird pseudo genius to them or something like that. Yeah, Dexter, thanks. He's like the proddy Dexter or something. You're like, I want to get into this guy's head, right? He's a good talker. He's really good at levying the Islamic dilemma. Some of the best I've ever seen. He's a good statesman. He can speak. He can speak quickly. He can speak eloquently, concisely. But he can't think. That's the right freeze frame, Andrew. Yes, that's what I'm feeling. Everyone's feeling that freeze frame. What? Dude's epistemology is wild. It's like spin the bottle epistemology.
So a lot of people agree with you, therefore it's a cult?
No, not at all. Let me just break it down.
So then what's the actual criteria here?
So let's suppose Jay says God logic. So Jay says Avery is a grifter, and he's just doing this, and he's just doing this stuff, and he refuses to attack other Christian groups and stuff because he's a grifter. You can't trust him. Christianity isn't a serious thing for him. It's all a money-making scheme, basically. And you bring this up to a Jay Dyer fan, and instantly you get a ton of insults, right? It's faggot this, faggot this, and so on.
Don't use that on YouTube, please.
Oh, sorry about that. And apart from that, you get, well, why aren't you debating him on what the true church is? And it's like, what are you talking about? I'm saying he's actively helping Dawa guys.
Yeah, I get all that, but that doesn't actually explain to me how this is a cult. I just say the same thing. When David Wood comes out and says Jay Dyer has a cult, a bunch of his fans were like, yeah, he sure does. It's like, what do we establish here?
I've explained what I'm talking about.
You haven't explained it. No, you really haven't. You haven't explained
when you have a leader who programs people.
Not a damn thing explained. No criterion. It's frustrating.
Perry in the debate was dead by the time closings came around.
Yeah.
I tuned out because the op wasn't understanding at all.
Yeah, it was literally like a dog training service. What the wood? I was also pretty impressed. I wanted the best of radio voice Mortal Kombat. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, two of the best radio voices in the industry. Right? Nope. Bad thinker. We got a bad thinker.
So like that they can't function, and they keep falling back on the exact same two responses.
Like your people
insults.
do for Jay Dyer.
Yeah, he does it too, man.
Which is insults or saying, why aren't you debating the true church? And it makes it impossible to question any behavior. I mean, think if I were walking down the street, and I saw Jay Dyer torturing a puppy, and I said, hey, quit torturing that puppy, and he said, well, why aren't you debating the true church? And I said, dude, stop torturing the puppy, man, it's bad. And he says, oh, look, he's running from me, and all the.
He literally just refuted his entire argument. If his argument before was calling out something bad, independent of what your belief is, right? Not that you can actually do that when it comes down to it, but if you just say this is bad, that's exactly what Jay did. He literally just cooked himself. Andrew doesn't even have to do any work here. He literally just countered everything he did in his opening right here with an example. If X person is doing something bad and everyone disagrees with the bad thing, it doesn't follow that you support the other guy who his position on everything else because he agrees with you about torturing. Dude, what are you, a junkie? What are you, some sort of junkie? What do you got, a collection of hammers in your basement? David Wood, late in the mornings, 2 a.m., he's down in the basement, huddled around a laptop, watching those restoration videos where people bring back old weapons and refine them. Smoky Man defeated Wes Watson, David Woodson. Both have similar stories, different grifts.
The fans start going, yes, he's running from this, he's running from this, he's running from the debating the true church. And you say, what the heck are you talking about? I'm talking about quit torturing the puppy, and no one is even capable of seeing the problem there.
So when David Wood, so my response, so when David Wood says, hey, Jay Dyer's in a cult, right? And all of his followers are like, yeah, he sure is, he has a cult. We completely agree with you. David Wood. That's a cult. Yes, David Wood, you're correct. That's a cult. And people come in and say, actually, that's not a cult. And it doesn't make any sense because it doesn't follow any of the criteria David Wood ever uses to describe cults. And they go, no, it's a cult because their charismatic leader, David Wood, told them it's a cult. That's really weird, David. It's like the same exact criteria that you're using for Jay Dyer is being used for you as well. That's really bizarre. Why are your followers so adamant that Jay Dyer has a cult?
It's just
false.
How
come we can't correct your followers then, David?
You can. Tons of people.
There's also something that really needs to be distinguished here at the level of there's certain notoriety level, right? God has protected me from such statuses. But there's a certain point at which one could reach in notoriety where you could actually argue that people who follow certain people could act cult-like. That's different than claiming the person is a cult leader, and they mangle this too. Yes, in any group of people that follow one person, there's going to be a phenomenon where some amount of them turn the person into something maybe they're not, into a statue, into an idol, into this, we really can't control that. People can't control that. So that existing is independent of whether or not the person themselves is themselves a cult leader. You know what I'm saying? And I think David Wood conflates these two, and it allows him sort of equivocation of the two things. And people listening to him who go, yeah, totally. I totally ran into some Jay Dyer guy who just appealed to Jay Dyer and Jay Dyer alone, and he was just like crazy about it. And like, yeah, you might find that phenomenon, but it says nothing about Jay. According to DW, saying bingo is equally to killing puppies. That's right. It's kind of sad. It feels a bit like David just wanted Andrew to tell him, I know, he was mean. It's going to be okay. He was a jerk. I don't know. Maybe I think David was probably. Now I can't assume intent, but I could speculate that you'd maybe take this opportunity to try to use what they think a lot of times is the meanest of the ortho sphere, Andrew, which is like actually the opposite. Yeah, he has like a persona of like a dark lord from Star Wars, and smokes and drinks and cusses and all this stuff, and he doesn't have a single shirt that's not black. Yeah, but like he's actually one of the nicer ones. You know what I'm saying? Like he's actually he's nicer. He's more even with everything. I'm way more likely to, I don't know, say something that maybe I regret saying. I think him using this perhaps to showcase, right, the embodiment of what he calls ortho bros, but it backfired. Totally backfired. Because Andrew's just reasonable with him. Okay, what, are you arguing this? What are you saying about this? What's a cult? What are you vibing, bro? What are you vibing?
People don't do this. Don't argue over this.
He's way nicer than me. Yeah.
Stuff, it's bad.
Especially in person. If you talk to Andrew in person.
Not just mindlessly agreeing with
me. They do that on the Orthodox side, too. What do you mean?
I can't tell where. Oh, you have Orthodox Christians. You have Orthodox Christians. I'm talking about the
charitable. Yeah, I know. I mean, nice. You know what I mean? Yeah, charitable.
I'm talking about the.
But I mean, nice, like not as like in person, like actual, like nice.
J fans, man, the J fans.
Which ones of your fans
J fans
are pushing back against you the hardest that Jay Dyer has a cult? Give me one name.
That's not. They're saying, why are you going after Jay?
What did I say? He's actually judging fans, not Jay. You dummy, David Wood. You're a big dum-dum. You just basically argued that we can judge people by some insane standard you could say is just like if you found some people who were fans. That's it, dude? Man, you need to wrap it up, man. Seriously. You need to wrap it up. Rabbi David Woodstein doing the Muslim shuffle when pressed on the definition. You know what the best is, Mendoza? The best part about all of this? David Wood, who perhaps his bread and butter is the Muslim dilemma. Guess what, David Wood? Wait until you agree to a debate. You probably won't. Guess what? Guess whose worldview also has to face the dilemma? Ruh-roh.
Hey, just ignore that.
You, David Wood. Wait until the Muslims... Watch, they're going to accuse me of being pro-Muslim. Wait until the Muslims figure out the Muslim dilemma and turn it on you, the Protestant. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Nothing. You can't do anything. You actually have to concede that the Muslim dilemma is the Prot dilemma and the Mormon dilemma. It's over. That's when you're truly over. Like, this is bad. This just shows how bad your reasoning is. Like, Andrew just exposed that you're actually not using, you're using polemics, but you're not using any logic or criterion. You're not actually arguing anything. You're just saying stuff. Wait until people call into your show and use the dilemma against you. Jim Bob gave people tools against a false church. Fine. I don't care. You think if I go bowling and I hit over a Muslim and a Protestant, I care? It all goes on my scoreboard, kiddo.
Don't talk about this.
So they're not disagreeing.
Don't agree with them and cause division.
So the same exact thing that
what would they disagree on? What would they disagree on?
The same exact same things you would see from Jay Dyer fans who say this guy's not worth your time. This guy's an asshole. This guy sucks. Same shit.
No, when I say it's bad for Jay to be agreeing with a lie from a Dawa guy in order to help Dawa
right in the wood chipper,
marginalize some person and so on, that's something you would expect people to go, wow, that's correct. That is bad. Jay shouldn't be doing that.
You just expect people are going to agree with you by default. That sounds like a cult
David Driftwood.
To me, David. That you think that people are just going to agree with you by default.
You should be able to recognize that making things up about a Christian in order to help Dawa and siding with Dawa guys who then use you as useful idiots is a bad idea. You don't have to. David Wood can be completely out of the picture.
But they don't agree with your characterization.
Hey, David, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry to do this. I encourage all Orthodox Christians who do make videos, who do like this kind of commentary stuff. I urge you all to make a short, concise video on how the Muslim dilemma applies equally to David Wood. Ruh-roh. You're being mean. That is a call. That is an aggressive call to aggression against me. I dare you.
Functioning brain. You don't have to.
With your
you don't have to. But
yes, you do.
People would.
Yes, you do.
People would because they say that is how Jay acts. They say that is how Jay acts.
Yeah, and then they don't too. So you see how that works? It's the same thing with you. It's the same exact thing. When you say Jay Dyer's in a cult and he's running a cult and he's a cult leader and you expect instantly that everybody's going to agree with you. How could they not? Obviously, David Wood's right.
What are you talking about? No one has to agree with me. No one has to agree with me.
The Protestant dilemma is the same in a sense. You say you pick an early church year, right, in the apostolic age or after, and you ask a Protestant how would they know what the true church is. It's either that the true church is Orthodox and something not Protestant, or they have no access to Christ and his teachings. For the Muslim dilemma, it's a little bit different. 7th century? It's either the revelation is true and Christianity is true and this is false, or something else. They don't have access to the truth of the matter. Same with Mormons. It's the same with Mormons. You just restructure it. All you do is restructure it and you swap out the person going back in time. You swap out the Muslim or the prairie Muslim, the Mormon. You put in David Wood. He's all lost. He's just sitting there with a hammer, right? Where's my church? Where's my Protestant church? Well, you don't have one. You have nothing. You have no early church. You used a ladder called the true church to get on the roof, and now you're on the roof, running game, and you kicked over the ladder, and you're laughing at Muslims. Oh, haha, Muslims, you're so stupid. You appeal to revelation, you're so dumb. Yeah, David Wood, you appeal to the true church and reject it. The Muslims appeal to Christian revelation and then ultimately reject it. Yeah, I probably butchered it. I probably butchered it. You get the point, though, dude. You get the point. The point is there's an either-or scenario where either the thing you're appealing to is true, and therefore your current thing is false, or the thing you're appealing to is false, which still the current thing that you're believing is false. Either or. Try to be charitable, you little prick.
Has to agree with Jay. It's
And
the
if
exact
they
same
do
point.
agree with me, it's because, they look at it and say, that's exactly how Jay acts.
Scripture is corrupted. Yeah, they take their approach that it's corrupted, like the Mormons would say. It's a different, right? It's a different thing. You gotta format it to David Wood. It's the same fundamental principle, though.
Or they look at it and say, yeah, that's exactly how David acts. Same shit.
Where am I doing that?
The application's exactly.
Where am I now? Where am I now? Where am I now? How did I arrive? Where did I get my life? David thinks he's real smart arguing against the uncreated Quran. He's going to be the same when he's side by side with Pastor Jonathan. Yeah.
Where are my followers kept from being able to think through
where are his
basic things about things you should not do?
Where are his being kept from that?
What are you have you not seen what went on since yesterday?
Where are his followers being kept from thinking about things?
You're programmed not to be able to think about it.
Tell me how he's programming them, and it's any
Where am
different
I?
than how
You
you're
already
programming
agreed.
people.
You already agreed with
Draw
me
the David
that
program. I should.
an
We should.
Orthodox Christian should not be affirming the lie of a dawagandist who's simply trying to discredit a person, and yet Jay's fans were instant in calling me wrong.
Because you're trying to discredit a person by association. That's fallacious, you dum-dum. If orthodoxy is true, Protestantism is false. If orthodoxy is false, then the early church was false and the Bible's false. Yeah, thank you. Exactly. I think I said something close to that toward the end, but I appreciate that. Extra heaven. Yeah, copy-paste that, everybody. That's the Protestant dilemma. You can beat up Islam all you want, David Wood, but if you were to debate Jay, he would probably, that triggers my uncreated KJV voices trap card. Pastor Jonathan Shelley. What Wood doesn't understand is Jay sees them as heretical as Muslims. Yeah, he just doesn't get it. And that's the part, it's not in this clip, but I won't even find it. But there was a moment where David Wood was talking to Andrew about Christianity, and he said, what? I mean, can't we, he essentially said, can't we just agree on the core principles? Why are we attacking each other who agree on the core principles? Why are we, here, let me translate. Why are we arguing for a one true church if there's a tent we can go to and all share funnel cake in the shape of a cross? Dude, why would anyone follow you? You're advocating. Jay's critique is that people are online who say they're Christian, but when you press them on what true Christianity is and whether it's a true church they can point to, they don't have an answer and they don't want to debate it. They just want to stay nice. They want to play. They want to play poker nights with heterodox, right? I'm not saying you can't have a beer with people or be friends with people and being kind to. I'm not even saying you can't. Transfer people, right? Chats, right? As long as they're not advocating and arguing aggressively against orthodoxy, maybe you can convert them. Maybe you can. But if you're gonna push back on this claim, you got to be able to support the pushback. And the claim is you can't be out here arguing and moving people away from Islam if you don't give them a place to go. And if you do, it's not a good look and it's not a good tactic, and it's actually doing harm to people. Ultimately, you're just gonna put them in limbo. And why? For the pride of wrecking a Muslim, right? The pride of wrecking a Muslim. Oh, congratulations! You know how to kick a retarded person in the face.
And affirming what he said. And
so what? That doesn't prove a cult?
No,
that's insane. They don't agree with your characterization that he's doing that.
Any Christian with a normally functioning brain should be able to see why that is wrong.
And who gets to determine they have a normally functioning brain?
See, this
is exactly it. They don't have any arguments. I listen to Orthodox, Catholic, Protestant personalities. Why would you do that? Why would you judge orthodoxy based on personalities? It's off-putting. Okay, your comment's off-putting. Who cares what you find off-putting? Pineapple on pizza is off-putting, dude.
These numbnut prots fail to view that they are all heretical from the true church.
You honestly deserve to be taken over by Islam, Rob. That statement is so sad and weak. Oh, the personalities and the personalities online. No one cares. Orthodoxy is not online. The true church is irrelevant to whether or not you have a proclivity or some sort of preference toward personalities, dude. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
Has iron sharpened iron, so a person sharpen another. Proverbs 27:17.
If you're a prot scared to lose your identity or friends moving to EO, just bring them with you. Yeah, bring them all to Christ True Church while keeping your community intact. Yeah, I actually, Chaw, there's something kind of like insight that I was came to about leadership. How men specifically, it's never the women. The women are, for the most part, there are some outliers, but for the most part, the woman will actually follow. If they see the man submit to the church and see that they're pointing in that direction, they're kind of likely to follow. A couple of feminists out there, but and it's interesting. The man wants to be the leader, and a lot of people in the chat who come from this guy's camp, they want to be the priest in their family. They want to be the person pointing. They want to be the man. That's masculine to them. That's the patriarchy to them. So they don't want to submit. That's weak, right? Now this happens. I'm not saying it's happening with everybody, but certainly there's a pitfall there, because what's kind of unique about the scenario is that if you submit as a man, let's say you have a whole family underneath you, that if you feel like it's your job to protect them and keep them in good standings with what you call Christianity, if you converted to Orthodoxy, you would be the leader that you want to be, that you think you already are. You would be the leader. You would be a follower. That's how the follower is the leader. It's a beautiful thing. Makes it easier on everybody. You get to submit to something to show your kids and your wife what submission looks like inside the paradigm of the true church. You get to be the leader of your family. You get both. One doesn't get taken from you. You get both. Not only both, but the role that you are gets enhanced. The gifts that you have they get enhanced. Jay isn't a cult leader. He's the Supreme Emperor Pope Wigzantium. That's right. They need to put some respect on his name. That's right.
Instantly start attacking and just cursing at people, and then changing the subject. The subject, which is what happened almost every single time.
I'm not here changing the subject, and I want to know.
Not you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about those guys.
I'm Catholic from India, but seriously considering Eastern Orthodoxy, but my country doesn't have any Orthodox diocese. What must I do? Well, I'd say move, but just don't move here.
Talking about those guys.
This is really strange to me. Do you get to make the determination as...
You could actually figure out how to get a mission. You know what I'm saying? You can get a mission. It's going to take work, but look, that's what's required. You know what I mean? It's not going to be easy. There are some places that, people live in Ecuador and they have to wait for a priest to come every 3 months to provide liturgy. So start a mission. You know what I mean? Talk to Vagine.
As the leader as to who has a properly functioning Christian brain, David? Is it you who makes that determination?
If you say that it is a good idea.
There we go.
Yes, Christians should be siding with the Dawa clowns who are attacking the Christians who are wrecking Dawa. And
David, wrecking Dawa. Wrecking Dawa? Dude, wrecking Dawa? That's like me playing pickleball against, a 5-year-old autistic person.
Trying to say with
Wood,
right?
Oh, they're wrecking Dawa. We get no respect for wrecking
Trying to
Dawa.
agree with them, I'd say you got some serious problems. But now you're just on. We can't say anything because we could be wrong, right?
Well, no, I'm just curious about this. I don't actually understand the position here. The position seems to be that if Orthodox people don't agree with your characterization, that Jay Dyer is somehow trying to side with Darwinists against everybody else because he said fucking bingo one time, and then you went off to call him a cult leader, right? So maybe they don't actually agree with your characterization of how this is going.
I didn't have Jay saying bingo equals loving Islam on my bingo card.
Down. Your response to this is they should agree with me because if they don't, they're in a cult. That's really bizarre, David. That sounds like you're in a cult.
That's
and are
not the
making demands that you're correct.
That's not how
Hang
it
on,
works.
let me finish my point. That you're correct by default because after all, you're David Wood. Who would disagree with you? You're just right, right?
Yeah. Well, that's a good clip from Compendium, Contemporary Compendium. We don't need to go too much further into it, but in conclusion, hold on. Wood frames himself as a trailblazer against Islam, and new people are piggybacking his work. St. John Damascene was calling them out since the semi-Aryans in the 7th century. A true church is necessary. Yeah. It's historical, right? It's not a new thing. Yeah, wrecking Dawa, go to liturgy. Oh, you wrecked Dawa? That's great. Where are you pointing? I don't know. Back to my podcast? Okay. Well, that's not enough. When you're a hammer, everything's a nail. David Wood. Anyway, that was wood chipper level. Like, that was, and honestly, that's Andrew just doing like run of the mill, right? That's like phoning in. Like that was Andrew phoning it in for that. Just kind of like walking him through it, right? Okay, well, what do you think? What's your criterion? Why are you calling people this? There was a section there about Mormons. I thought that was it, but maybe it was a previous section. There was a section about Mormons, how this was so brutal. If I can find it, I'll show it. But the section was asking David Wood if he would agree with someone else in their attack on Mormonism. And it was like so simple. It was like, oh, do you attack Mormons? Okay, you attack Mormons. Does that mean you agree with the other person attacking Mormons? Is that required? He just wouldn't answer the question. He got all weird. He got super weird. He just wouldn't answer the question. In this debater, David Wood tries to take credit for taking back Speaker's Corner when Bob, Chris, Sieg, and the other ortho not prot. Well, I mean, it's like the biggest thing that got exposed and will continue to be exposed is that if you're like a big hitter, right, online, and people consider you umbrella Christian, people like Jay, people like myself, Andrew to some extent will do it, but he's pretty streamlined into politics as the sort of highlighted topic. You're going to get challenged on the true church. You're going to get challenged on the true church. What is the true church? Okay? You can get your rewards socially, publicly for defeating Islam and pushing against it, but if you don't give them and the people listening an alternative with a narrow path and a narrow door, then what is it you're actually doing? Honestly, it's an honest question. Like, what is it you're actually doing or building toward? Is it just an anti-position? Well, am I surprised that a Protestant like David Wood, his essential position is anti-something? No. But it can't be for unless it's Orthodox. That's why he won't debate. Orthodoxy online is under a constant attack. These people think everyone's a Christian unless they're Orthodox. Unless they are. Yeah, I have a larger point, but it's impossible to get YouTube to accept it as... Yeah, well, that's true. Well, it's going to get attacked because, like, the thing is, I hold to a position that you could be Orthodox and online, but you're only a signpost for Orthodoxy. You point people toward Orthodoxy, they go They go physically, bring themselves to orthodoxy. They walk in the door. Online is kind of a weakness because you could be like Marilyn. I don't know if you guys in the chat know Marilyn, who's this chick who just shows up at different Orthodox places and talks about how she's God and everyone's God. And she gets the fruit of orthodoxy in the sense of a culture, in sort of a freeze-frame culture inside of a chat, or but she doesn't have to go anywhere or do anything. Like if you're getting your theology and everything you think you need, even if you say you're Orthodox, if you think you're getting everything from like watching a video from Jay or Josiah Trenum or something like this, you're not practicing orthodoxy. But if the opposition to orthodoxy thinks that's the case, they're going to attack online, quote, online orthodoxy. Because we are a very effective signpost. They know this. These people know that we're very effective at writing our signs and the direction. And guess what? We have an actual direction. The arrow actually has a point. These people have soft arrow points. It's anywhere. Oh, cool. I'm not an atheist anymore. What do I do, David Wood? I don't know. Read the Bible, or I guess, or something. Or I don't know. Something like that. Or you join my team. We'll continue to fight against Islam. Should I go to church, or where should I go? Is there a true church, David? I don't know. What are you, a Jay Dyer fan? Who would ask such a thing? Is there a true church? Competence and masculinity are seen as mean. Yes, in today's culture. It's in the trades now. Oh, it's in the trades too? Ugh. I don't care if the new plumber is nice. Is he good? Yeah. Yeah, I don't trust nice plumbers. I like the grumpy ones. One time I had someone crawl down like into the crawl space underneath my floor. Not quite a basement. And he was really old, and he literally got mad at me for trying to help him out of the hole. Like he was emotionally, mentally, and almost physically distraught that I even asked. So that was like an L for me. But he did need help. That's what's weird. He actually did need help out of the hole. But he was so miffed at me. He like almost, I think he was close to even cussing at me because of it. I was like, geez, you're old, dude. He just wants his last hurrah crawling out of the hole. I think that's like the barometer for him. He's like, my life, my job stops when I can't crawl out of this hole. You know? So don't take that from me. I need to know when that is. It's absurd. I've kind of been watching all these streams. I'm a private investigator, so I have a lot of time. They badmouth orthodoxy constantly. Well, yeah, they can't badmouth the theology. They can only badmouth people who are mean, people who are aggressive, people who say bad words, right? They have to isolate this stuff. But when it comes to it, when we go, okay, cool, let's just grant that we're all mean for a second. Let's just grant that. Look, just look, grant it all. You might as well just grant it all. You might as well just, pull a Wilson. You know what? I grant it. We're pricks. We're mean. We cuss. We drink. We smoke. Big meanie pants ortho bros. Even our own parishioners. Even our own parishioners are a little bit turned off by our online behavior, okay? What if that was true? Does it have anything to do with the truth of orthodoxy? Like, just grant it all. Yeah, mean. Cool. We're all mean. All right. Cool. Now will you debate the true church? And the answer is an overwhelming from David Wood. David the Wood Chipper. No, they won't debate it. It also gives views. Yeah, that's a good point. It does. It does. Smoking is a sin. Well, first of all, that would be in question. Second of all, that's between him and his priest and his spiritual father. So, that's not really something that is like necessarily built in to the theology. So you're probably a Protestant. Let us assume for a moment that you're right. Say all the big, meany, bad-mouth orthodox. They're all jerks. They're all jerks. They're mean. They kick their dog. What does it have to do with the truth of Protestantism? Will trees ever, the wood? No. Well, no, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. I'll start the video. I'll do the first, if someone beats me to it, good. I hope you do. But showing the dilemma that he levies against Muslims can be levied against him. I'm surprised I didn't see this earlier, actually. Admittedly, I was caught up into the wave of anti-Islam, and I'm still on that wave. But when you get caught up in it, you're more likely to lock hands with people who are, in fact, when it comes down to it, end up being oppositional to orthodoxy. So it's a weak position, I guess. Imagine being so afraid of debating Jay Dyer, you beg his priest to stop him. David killed a man for that man claiming to have killed Saul. We are nice. Yeah, we are nice. Yeah, we are nice. The guy who trained me smoked in the crawl space while sweating pipe and whistled in the N-word. Did you say whistled? How do you whistle the N-word? I miss those days. I remember when I was a kid. Protestantism is the female persona of Christianity about my feelings, man. It is. Protestantism is the feminism, is the feminist of Christianity. I'm just really, what was that last guy who's here? I'm really just off-put and turned off. You know, I've listened to a lot of personalities online. Did you go to liturgy? No, I listen to personalities online. That's how I get my theology. I'm really off-put by the personalities, and so I didn't make it into liturgy. Is that reasonable? Can you imagine these people meeting sort of like a rough around the edges laity in like the year 500? Who's like, you know, two of their toes are missing and they have no teeth and they're... Can you imagine? It just really turned me off. He said, come and see to me, I think. He said, come and see. But I just didn't get a good vibe from him. I know he said that the divine liturgy was being held and that's the way you get the gospel in the year 500, but I don't know. I didn't get he wasn't a good personality. I get the prot issue, but we can, Jay does, recognize that sincere prots exist. So why are Avery and David grifters? That's what I don't get. What do you mean sincere? Sincere means you're pursuing the truth. And by the way, ordinary people who are Protestant, who are just like culturally adopted in, whatever, they're born into Protestantism, whatever, they're not online people who can swing a tail. I said it before, Tahab. The grifting argument would be simple. The grift is this. You're representing something you call Christian, and you're selling it to an audience, right? It's inextricably tied to your presence. You're arguing that you have something called Christianity, but you don't. To me, that's the grift. I don't know how anyone else would market it. That's how I would say it. And I don't think that can be refuted. If you're selling Christianity, but you don't have a place for them to go, you can't point to Christianity, then you're selling something that you don't have. That's a grift. How is that not a grift? Look, you don't have to be a scheming, hunched over bagel to be someone who's selling something that they don't have. Maybe they don't know they don't have it. Every prot would get knocked out by St. Nicholas. That's the grift. That's a grift. To me, that's a grift. You're selling something that you can't provide. You're saying, here's a thing, and then you don't have it. It's pretty simple. Can anyone refute it? Can anyone refute it? They call out personality because it's a cult of personality. Yeah, that's how they judge it, Darth. Yeah, that's exactly right. You totally get the paradigm. They admit that they're judging, that's their barometer, personality. That's our argument against it, dude. That's why I did the stream. Online isn't orthodoxy. When you go to liturgy, the priest has a personality, but the seat that he's occupying itself is not a personality. Avery was smart, stay silent. That's right. Which is another thing, dude. Now, I understand staying out of drama and all this stuff, you know. If it's not your thing, you can't really battle it. I can get that impulse from someone, but this is specific because what's being called out is your authenticity in regards to what you actually stand for. And if you're working against orthodoxy, you're standing against something. That's not silent. You know what I mean? So I disagree that he stayed silent. Our actions don't need our mouths, right? See? Exactly. Our actions don't need our mouth. Selling solar panels to a homeless dude. I mean, if you really look at it, it's like they really marketed they cornered the market for anti-Islamianity, right? That's what happened. Now, it just gets old. So everyone's a grifter? No, not everyone's a grifter. No, if you have something to sell somebody and you can provide it, then you're not a grifter. If you give them nothing, you give them nothing. Love that story. One of my favorite Christmas jokes is if Santa isn't real, then who was throwing hands with Arius at the Council of Nicaea? I love that. That's good. I like it. I like it a lot. What's up, Disco? No decision is a decision. Yes. Yeah. You got to say something. You can't just be like, you know, I don't know. I just like you can be silent and not take a position. You can be silent and not take a position. But him moving people into places that are advocating, against or celebrating. Praise report. I just got praise report. I just got 3 inquirers to move away from the true church. Praise report. What are you doing, dude? I am Orthodox, and Avery has never once gone against Orthodoxy. He focuses on Islam and non-denominational differences. Andrew and Jay are completely in the wrong. No, that's false. You can't send people over to a stream that's anti-Orthodoxy and say he's not anti-Orthodox in that moment. Lady. Being heterodox is anti-Orthodox, by the way. He focuses on Islam. What is he pro? What's he pro? I didn't ask what he's anti. What is he pro? Nothing. Lady. He's not anti-Orthodox. Look, if you send a bunch of people, thousands of people, to a stream that's deliberately oppositional to orthodoxy, that's an action against orthodoxy. Lady. Always be careful when people start with "I'm Orthodox." It's like saying you're Jewish. By the way, I'm Jewish. I'm about to say something. It's like, why are you using a shield? What are you doing? What's this tactic you're doing? The EO Church's official stance that Catholics and Prots, not Christian, not saved? No, not exactly the same statement. If not, what are people in China supposed to do? They're supposed to. It's not what they're supposed to do. It's what Orthodoxy is supposed to do, which is plant itself and baptize China. It's not what China's supposed to do. It's what a Christian's supposed to do. But in order to know what a Christian's supposed to do, you have to have a narrow view of what a Christian is. Does that make sense? So no, you don't add in the affirmative full knowledge of soteriology that you put in parentheses there, but generally, yes, the stance is, yeah, Orthodoxy, there's only one Christian church. And anyone who's a Christian couldn't possibly say otherwise. But if they do, they're in big trouble. If they say, no, Christianity is a plurality of bodies that are incompatible. Christ just makes it work. He gets an arm from a midget. He gets a leg from a penguin. And he just makes it work. You know, it's like Lego Christ. You know what I mean? Just, I don't know how he makes it work. If you're publicly promoting Christianity, you got to know what it is that you're promoting. Yeah. If it's just weak sauce, if it's slop, if it's like David Wood said, oh, no, Christianity is just affirming these 3 basic principles or something like this. Bullet point Christianity? Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do. Find orthodoxy. It exists, guys. It exists. It's right there. We keep pointing in the direction. It's right over there. Hey, what should I do, Jim Bob? What's the true church? Notice how none of the Orthodox people say, oh, you have to get it at my YouTube channel. There's a membership. That's where you get the truth. They even have EO in Antarctica, and Antarctica doesn't even exist. That's what's crazy, dude. Go to liturgy. It's time. You guys can't sit on the sidelines forever. You gotta eventually choose. And Jay is forcing the choice. I'm forcing the choice. You should feel pressured. That's good. Stop pressuring me. Why can't I stay in the meadow? It's a nice meadow with Christian flowers and Christian trees and Christian skies and birds. Every day I wake up to soft, nebulous Christianity, and the world is so bright and cheery, and I know that day I'm going to be able to own an Islamic call-in on TikTok. Not anymore, David Wood. Not after the campaign to run the dilemma against you. Ruh-roh. Can we change heterodox to homodox because it's fake and gay? Just kidding. This has been my daily joke on a break. Nice cue, Dart. It's not bad. Not bad. Nice. Medicine doesn't taste good. Yeah, it doesn't feel good when you don't want to go and you go. I mean, eventually it does, but liturgy. No, a different Christology. Go to liturgy. Do it. Everything you're interested in about orthodoxy, even from like just a pure observer, just go. Go learn through the practice. Go learn it through the practice. Stay. Ask your priest. Go in on. Sometimes they'll just allow people to take classes, depending on what your situation is. But no. You have a horrible take. You don't have any arguments, lady. You have a horrible name, lady. Tell me how I'm wrong. Jim Bob, I'll debate you on this, bro. Debate me on what? I bet you can't even say what a prompt is. I bet you can't even say the prompt. I love God logic, but he sends people to heretical churches. I remember countless times when a Muslim confessed Jesus on his live and he said, go to any church that believes in Trinity. That's exactly my point. Anyone who's Trinitarian, okay. That's it? That's a true church? Okay. So no true church. I can start a church tomorrow with one member and say, just Trinitarian church. That's the sign. Trinitarian church. There it is, folks. We found the true church. Tell me, lady. I can't believe your name's Lady and you came in here hot, and your name is Lady with an H. Man, you should have changed your name at least before getting here. But what did you say? You debate me on what? Could you explain why they don't have anything when it comes to grifting? Is it because they aren't Orthodox? Yes, they don't have a true church. They're selling orthodoxy through the lens of counter-Islam. But when you end the conversation about Islam being false, they don't have a true church to point to. That's selling something they don't have. You're representing a product that you don't have. You don't have it. That's a grift. That's literally a grift. And the avoidance, right, when you're called out, the avoidance, you know, Avery, like everyone says, nice guy, happy guy, good guy, it doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with him as a person. It's not like this, like, dark character assassination. You guys are, like, people get soft about that stuff. You're just saying that, look, dude, you're representing something online, but it's nebulous. What is it? What good is it to deconvert a Muslim if they could just go to any church? Any church. There's no true church. Now, notice Lady, right? Maybe all the rest of the opposition got out of here in time, but like they don't even know what they're defending, honestly. In the end, if you press them, they're really just defending, well, I like him, he's nice, he made me laugh or something. Okay, cool. That's not what we're talking about, though. Talking about something that's rigid. You think it wasn't rigid? You think that Christ didn't start a rigid church? You know, you guys are okay with it being rigid for thousands of years, but suddenly Gutenberg comes along.
Cool it with the anti-Semitic remarks.
And you're like, well, no, it's fine now. That's over now. Christ came and he gave us a really nebulous octopus church. What tentacle are you on?
Nathaniel LHL. Suppose their goal of removing the risk of jihadism was fully accomplished. Now what? And by default, this exhales the battle against Islam above correctly identifying the truth.
That's right. That's right, Vagine. Even Vagine gets it. She barely has any Orthodox in her country, and she even gets it. Justin says, Jay specified it's the, quote, business church model. It is. We've already shown this with Ruslan. They're all in the same model. That's a non-denom to cast as big of a net as possible. The problem is nobody stays in those, quote, churches. Yeah, it's misleading. It's a map with no legend. The map has no legend. There's no true north. There's not even a key underneath that says, oh, this is the mountain range. Here's the gate you need to go through. They don't even have that. And they're like, no, I'm on the map. I'm on the map. And what's on the map? The only thing on the map is not Islam. Don't do Islam. That's the map. How is it Tom Hanks is going to be Greek Orthodox? Well, he married to a woman who was raised Greek Orthodox, and to what extent he practices, who knows? He probably does I don't know. Considering his life, it's likely he's a Christmas. He's a feast day Orthodox or something. I don't know, though. I hope he's fully Orthodox. I hope he goes to liturgy 5 times a day. David Wood plans on collabing with Brian Shapiro after the debate. Is that funny? Is that a joke?
The Orthodox Church is the intersection of the horizontal and vertical beams of the cross. Vertical unites us with Christ as King. Horizontal with his suffering and sacrifice. The Protestant Church, relationally, has taken Jesus off the cross. He's the nice Jesus who is kumbaya, the lover who expects nothing from us except quoting scripture and being nice and justifies any stand we take, as long as we are saved. They can live any way they want, as long as they are saved.
Yeah.
The godless left also thinks it can live any way it wants to. The only place to find true sanity is in that intersection of vertical and horizontal. We find it at the divine liturgy. Go to liturgy.
Go to liturgy.
Josiah.
Go to liturgy. Thank you, Josiah. Absolutely. Thank you, Josiah. Appreciate that. Super chat. Yeah, go to liturgy. You're not going to find these answers online. You're going to use online personalities, as we saw in the chat, as an excuse not to deal with this problem that you guys have with not having a true church. Honestly, it's a huge opportunity for you. And what a time to do it. There's no better time to have a mass conversion to Orthodoxy than now. David Wood plans on collabing with Brian Shapiro. Oh, yeah, I read that already. That's great. That would be funny. Are you joking, though? I feel like that's like a really funny joke. I'm sure Brian Shapiro has already slid into to David Wood's DMs. Business church. I wonder if he covered it. I wonder if Ruslan covered it. Maybe he did already. How do I monetize these people? 6 figures, 7 figures. How do I monetize? He's got to cover it. Not yet? Okay. I'm sure there's going to be a week of covering this stuff, honestly. If he goes to liturgy, that Tom Hanks is already closer to Christ than Scientologists like Tom Cruise. That's right. That's right. I heard even this guy did.
Cool.
Is it true?
With the anti-Semitic remarks.
Him? Christian Bale? I heard it. I don't know if it's true. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm excited about the dilemma against... Honestly, it could be done not even in video. Like, they take super chats. They'll probably avoid them. But if everyone goes over to David Wood's next live stream, I'm sure he's going to do a Cope stream if he's not doing one right now. I wonder if in form we could sort of like really no fat, trimmed fat presentation of the form of the dilemma against him. If we can all copy and paste it and keep asking the question, I wonder. Looked it up. It appears he's legit Orthodox now. I thought so. I thought I saw that, Nick. I could be wrong, but I thought I saw that. Who knows, though? Could have been in his AI became Orthodox. Speaking of, when is that going to happen? Like, people arguing that AI is being alive, it's becoming alive and aware. It's like, where are the Christian convert AIs? Imagine trusting your own interpretation of Scripture. It's insane. It's insane. This is where it leads to. It's where it all leads to. Quick side note, I was comically able to lean my woman to orthodoxy with me through the themes present in the video games like Final Fantasy, but games are not enough. She is happily attending next Sunday with me. Beautiful. Yeah. Well, orthodoxy could speak to people in the way it needs to. You know what I mean? And by the way, I can't say this enough, Echo. If you're a young man and you're into theology and you listen to Jay and you listen to all these guys and you get into these distinctions, don't approach your woman who you're trying to convert, have her follow you into the church and make a family with her, start an Orthodox legacy. Epic. Don't expect her to be looking at you in any other way but confused when you talk about like deep philosophical distinctions. You know what I'm saying? Like, your second date shouldn't be like, you know about the councils, right? And she's like, and that's what I love about Orthodoxy. We're the only ones who have the essence energy distinction, right, Cindy? What? Am I supposed to know what that is? I don't think he likes me. You're not dating a dude. They just want to see kids. You know what I mean? They want to walk into the parish. They want to know what's possible for their soul and their spirit, and then what's eventually possible for their ovaries. Okay? Don't precept your wife. Okay? I'm trying, I'm dating. It's hard to find a based woman. Stop. The based woman is the one who follows you. Yeah, but she doesn't even know, like it's just like basic stuff. Like, if the EW schism never happened, would the Catholic Church be the true church? The Catholic Church, the term, that's a sort of like mangling the term Catholic. The Orthodox hold that we are the Catholic Church. We are the true Catholic Church. If there wasn't a schism, then you couldn't say there was a distinction. So it's kind of like asking for you're presupposing a distinction that you're denying. So no, if there's no schism, then there is no distinction, Catholic Church from the true Orthodox Church. That's what makes it a distinction to begin with. 10 memberships coming in with a tenner from Vagine. All this money coming in from India.
Hey Muslims, come join the strip mall Trinitarian Church led by your favorite female bishop, me, Vagine.
Vagine, yeah. Vagine started one. You can't say it's false. You cannot say it's false, David Wood. Luckily, we're past that. In terms of theology, she understands about 70% from me, and then the hard stuff is helped by her just seeing who I am when I'm on this path with her. It's beautiful. No, it's beautiful. It just gets more beautiful. Like, I'm actually kind of envious that Megan has had some really unique experiences inside and during liturgy that probably dwarf any propositional claim that would otherwise occur outside of the church, online or in a conversation. It's almost like, the phenomenon when someone hasn't played craps ever? You guys ever see this? Someone walks up to the table, they're totally green to it, they don't even know the rules. And they just somehow take it on, and they just win with it. Like, they like become one with it, and they don't even know. It's something beyond that. Something beyond the knowledge of the rules and stuff. I don't know how else to explain it. Grok? Hey, Grok. What's going on, Grok? Singularity Church. The Singularity Church is funny. Vagine worships a cow. Yeah, which one is the best? Do they have like a universally holy cow? Holy cow! It's called beginner's luck. Yeah, but it still doesn't make sense how regular it is. There's no reason why a beginner would have luck and a well-established person who's spent all their money has no luck. It's the same odds. It's just a bizarre, strange event. The brown one? Is it the red one or the brown one? What happens when the red heifer's actually slaughtered? Do we team up with are we in favor of Hinduism if we agree? If Vagine, if she sees the red heifer has been slaughtered in Israel and they televise it on The View with Whoopi Goldberg? That's disgusting. Slaughtered the red heifer. If Vagine goes, that's just wrong, and we go, yeah, that's just wrong. According to David Wood, we support Hinduism. I gotta take a dump. I can't believe Ruslan didn't cover this. It's crazy. I can't wait. He loves this stuff now. I'm starting to like his channel when he does reviews of like topical, like not theological stuff. You know what I mean? I kind of like watching it. You know, he makes me want to learn breakdancing. I'm getting in touch with my urban side, whatever that means. You know, I just want Air Jordans. I listen to Ruslan and I just find myself scrolling on Facebook Marketplace for OG Air Jordans. I'm like, what is happening to me? Joy Reid is a red heifer. Sorry, Joy. Someone had to do it. Anyway, all that stuff's going to happen. It's going to keep happening. It's going to finally hit a head, right? It's going to finally hit a head. It has to. And don't back down. Don't back down. You're being loving. You're being loving when you call David Wood out. You're being loving when you confront Avery. You say, hey, buddy, love you, man. But don't you want to come to a true church? When someone asks you in a super chat, like, where do I go? And you just say, just Google Trinitarian. Google Maps, cringe. That's cringe. That's cringeitarian. Andrew's full of himself. Yeah, of course he's full of himself. Why doesn't deny that? That's irrelevant. What are you talking about? How's that a critique? How's that a critique? How's that a critique of Whoopi Goldberg? It's the weirdest defense of Whoopi Goldberg I've ever heard. Loving him by calling him a grifter? Yeah, actually. Is there something inconsistent? What's the P and not P? Game caller? Huh? You'll never say it, will you? Huh? Huh? Discussing presuppositional with Alex Malpass. Correction is love, yeah. What if I called my son a grifter? You know, he grows up, he starts doing some monetary practice, selling something that I know is broken, right? And I go, dude, you're a grifter. What are you doing? Game caller. Hey, Uncle Game Caller's here. Don't worry, little Jim Bob. Your dad's being a meanie pants. Go on, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. It's not obvious. What's not obvious? Thanks, man. I'm still learning all this stuff. Go to Divine Liturgy for sure. That's where you want to learn. Sosa baby. You'll get that and a lot more. You know what I mean? What I learned in the last year, even as a baby Orthodox, is that even my early pursuit of Orthodoxy, inquiring, was a lot of propositional stuff. And don't get me wrong, you're going to have to get into that. That's why the learning curve, usually it should be, in fact, about 3 years. But the participatory aspect to being at liturgy and being at these services is integral to how you even interpret what you're learning. It's through a lens that you learn it. It's not propositional and then you just fit it to your worldview. Like you added pieces. You know, you built up from the bottom and you added these new shiny, beautiful pieces, and here's an icon on your Lego structure, and here's this other thing, and you're like, oh, I built it up. No, it's actually pursuing orthodoxy breaks it down more. It breaks down a lot first. So is David wrong? Why are we fighting? Fighting about what? David is wrong. What do you mean? Why are we fighting? Why do you think we're fighting? What do you think, Alex? What do you think is happening here? That's what I want to know. Let me just forget whatever thing I think for a second. What do you think is going on right now? What do you think? Jim Bob, can you describe to us what happens at Divine Liturgy? No. Go to Divine Liturgy. Sounds like brainwashing. What's wrong with brainwashing? BS? You guys don't have to delete that, you guys. I want people to see these people's questions. Let's say it was BS. Why would that be wrong? BS? From your view. What would your concern be at all? Yeah, it is. It's spirit. It's actually better than brainwashing. It's spirit washing. It's washing your spirit. So, at least correct your language. It's not brainwashing. It's spirit washing. It's a new washing machine. You got what? And why not? Why not? Because my descriptions using words can't be identical to your experience. So just go. Why not go? How about that? Why not go? Just go. All right. Presuppositional refuted. Ooh, this is quite the change. This might be too boring. This guy thinks we're living in a simulation. Roman Yampolsky. Real creeper, huh? This guy's a real creep show, huh? I can't listen to Alex Malpass, dude. That's worse than just like a sleeping pill. Can you imagine someone called into like an anti-self-deletion hotline and they heard Alex Malpass talking? Goodness. Lord have mercy. I think also all the people complaining on X about this whole thing, especially on the ortho side, should maybe log off. The internet is its own universe, can't control. Yeah, I agree with that, News Nexus. I think if you can do proper, concise commentary on it, you shouldn't be doing it with your thumbs. And if people have a channel, that's what I did today. Like, I deleted X from my phone at least. I'll still use X to post things on my, like a video, but just deleting it off of your phone. Dude, the only thing you get from it, aside from the cortisol and the endorphins, is maybe your thumbs get a six-pack. That's it. I went to liturgy and it was gay. Yeah, well, that's on you, dude. That's on you. Thank you for going. But no one cares about your review of it. You can't even tell me why brainwash is wrong, dude. Why would we listen to what you think is gay? Could the ready availability of the Bible be considered a modern convenience that has caused many to become lazy, absent, and real? Yeah, I blame Gutenberg all the way, dude. People go, Jim Bob, if you can go back in time and stop any event, who would it be? Stalin? Mean Mr. Mustache? No. Mao Zedong? Nah. What is it? I named all the key ones that people would do. JFK? No. NASA? Maybe. Well, what is it, Jim Bob? What would you start? Gutenberg. Steve Gutenberg? Nope. Gutenberg. I would have went in there like some blue-haired activist, right? The baklava or whatever it's called. Backpack. And I just break all the things. Just break the machine. Melt it. I'd melt it. That's what I'd do. I'd melt the damn thing. Speaking of people that you should be weary of.
You are a simulation.
This guy you shouldn't trust. I mean, first of all, the tint of the glasses. I teach my kids, if you ever see a man or a woman at the park and they're wearing sepia glasses, you get out of there. You find daddy.
Of a human.
Nice haircut.
A very believable one. Don't get upset here. Well, why is speed of light constant? Well, that's just the speed with which the processor updates the rendering.
Wow.
That is the speed of a processor on which the simulation.
Why do I get the feeling that this guy has been hovering over a young lady and she's all worried and he's saying up close with his beady eyes, don't worry, it's a simulation. It's just a simulation. Don't worry, it's just a simulation. We're not actually doing this. Don't worry. Oh, you are scared. Oh, don't be scared, little lady. Don't be scared, little lady. It's just a simulation. You are feeling just some pain. It's illusory. It's just a simulation. It's not me aggressing you or not me raping you. It's not any of those bad things. It's nothing in your head. It's all in your mind. I'm on top of you. It'll just take a second. It's just a simulation.
Is the starting point for the simulation. You can never be certain it's real. There is no test which gives you certainty that is authentic, that is real. We don't even know if outside is better or worse. We don't know if we're...
We don't know anything. I'm a nonsense machine, but thank you for thank you for letting me sit down.
Here escaping a really bad situation in this dream world.
Simulation theory is Gnosticism. He just basically said it. Oh, the bad situation. Oh, it's so bad here. We need to escape it. What do you mean? I thought the bad part that you need to escape is a simulation. Why would you need to escape a simulation? Huh? Why do you guys get kicked out of so many countries?
World? Or if this is a prison and we are punished for doing something outside.
Oh, wow, that's new. Nice ponytail, dude. Make a choice. Make a choice. I cannot make a choice. I need to borrow Christianity and then pervert it, and I need Gnosticism, but I need not Gnosticism. I need to see the world as a prison, but that's also made up. I can't decide on my haircut! Sometimes I gallop like a horse.
A well-done simulation feels like real life.
What are your biggest unanswered questions that you want to know?
What's outside the simulation?
I want to see what's outside the simulation, but according to my own metaphysics, I couldn't actually know what's outside the simulation because I kind of ponder if outside the simulation is also simulation. Thank you for having me. The Jewish Viking.
Roman, hi, nice to meet you.
Great meeting you.
So, you've been sounding the alarm with regards to AI and control of AI recently, and I've seen a few of your interviews. I think the big question is what happens when we create intelligence that's more intelligent than us. I've kind of got a bigger question. If you were worried about AI and worried about how it would evolve, would it not be great to create a simulation such as the life we're living now to test it?
I think that's what we experience right now.
Don't worry. Don't worry. You're not actually running out of breath. It's just a simulated pillow on top of you. Natalia. Look, I have a simulated ponytail. It's not real. It's clip-on. I love Amazon Prime.
I think we are in a simulation, and most likely reason for this specific time to be alive.
You know what he said earlier? I'm not going to get even close to through this one. This is when I go full totalitarianism, right? I throw them out the gates. Good luck in the simulated desert, buddy. The reason I find these people so dangerous is that if you can actually convince people that we're in a simulation to the extent that exiting it isn't a foul play against your own life and God, that you could just remove yourself, you know? Crawl into one of those pods in Switzerland, you're all good, hit the button, it was just a simulation. All the things you did in the past, don't worry. You're, quote, forgiven because it's a simulation. You didn't actually really do them, in fact. You were a SIM card expression. And this guy pushes this stuff. These little goblins, man. How do you not look at this guy and immediately go, okay, no, this is off to a bad start? He's really spiritually dead, this guy. Oh, no, it's a simulation. Yeah.
Life is that it is the most interesting time. We are creating new worlds, virtual reality.
No, it's not a new world, bro. You're a nut job. Speaking of nut job, let's finish that last goal. We got a minute and 40 seconds to do it. I have a debate that I'm hosting tonight. I'm not sure what time I'm gonna get out of here. I might keep this one short and sweet. We got a lot of packed stuff in here. as well. But it's 1 p.m. for me. The debate is at 6. I have to do stuff in between, including feeding myself. So let's hit that last goal. Minute. Someone come through with the 3 extra chats there. And we'll watch a little more of this guy.
And we are finally learning how to create intelligence, agents, beings.
No, they're not beings, you nut job. Right on a train. Right on a train. Thank you, Jason. Oy vey.
So, from the simulation theory, you're convinced we are in a simulation?
It is very likely. I don't see any way, if we ever get this technology, if I have access to creating believable virtual worlds populated by AI agents, that I would not use it to like totally simulate all sorts of things.
Yeah. No, this is why this is a great defeater to this crap. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Intel. Thank you, Jim Bob, for giving us top-notch, excellent entertainment all the time. You're welcome. Thank you. This is a big thing. He's using reality and processing and light. He used light speed before. You heard that before? Well, coincidentally, one of the best arguments against simulation theory, other than epistemic nihilism and solipsism, is that the power that you would need, the processing power and the energy power you would need for this to be a simulation, based on what we know about simulation, about simulating something, but based on what we know about the language he's using, which is computing, you don't have enough power. These people just invent stuff in their head and they run with it. Like they never become adults. It's the weirdest thing. Anything but God. Anything but God. Favorite game, please. Let's get the goal. My favorite game still, insofar as the shooting stuff, is probably Vigor. And I like Battlefield 6. It's just that the people are so good that, and I don't have enough time to get good enough to really enjoy it, but I could tell it's fun. And then I play, here we go, everybody else in the chat, FIFA. I play FIFA. Nitty says, I think I understand a precept angle on knowledge more. You could say that an LLM AI can never have the knowledge of an experience. If that's the case, it will always lack access to all of the truth. Yeah, knowledge itself, I would say it doesn't have knowledge, even in the sense when we say justified true belief, Nitty. A computer, an LLM, an AI, a calculator, they punch out outputs. They don't have a belief that's somehow in tension with some oppositional belief or whatever. They don't have an intentionality to pursue a new angle of anything like you're doing now. They just do things. It's just a mechanical executed set of commands, some less complex, some more complex. So yeah, knowledge, if knowledge is simply justified true belief, you wouldn't say an AI has a belief, because they would just hold a proposition and relay it through symbols and through hardware exactly as the human dictated it would. It wouldn't evaluate anything. And I would further argue, Nitty, that the precondition for knowledge is the capacity, even in the real like simple sense of evaluation. Now, Nitty, it gets interesting with orthodoxy because we hold notional and noetic knowledge as well that isn't identical to assessment of pure data points. That's another aspect. That could be, from your perspective as an atheist, you might say an intuition, and the intuition can't be really reduced down to a set of particular data points that you put through your brain. So what is that? You don't deny it either. You don't just simply go, I'm a lunatic, I had an intuition, I had a notional experience of knowledge. I'm a real nut job. Like nobody does that. But the what precept does, the tag argument in particular, Nitty, is that it presses a worldview to account for the preconditions for knowledge. and knowledge, but certainly the preconditions for knowledge. And you're starting to understand that an LLM, the preconditions for it to have knowledge, if you said it did have knowledge, would be a human, actually, which necessitates a type of God, coincidentally. That's why when you guys go to the computer argument, well, a computer can do all these things, not without a human. The human in that case is the God. So if we're, even from a strictly deterministic system, the atheists should believe in God if they believed we were a deterministic programmed item. Because what we know about programmed items is that they're given by a mind to do things. I've always found that a bit bizarre. That the evidence for an atheist to believe in God insofar as what a human is and what the world is already exists from their view. It's deterministic, mechanistically determined. Well, at least you're welcome to Calvinism, I guess. I don't know.
So am I an AI agent?
You are a simulation.
Does a book have knowledge? No, a book doesn't have justified true belief.
Of a human.
The book has information.
A very believable one. Don't get upset here.
And why do you believe that? What is your thesis?
This is like talking to someone, like you're on your way home and you're a little drunk. You know, you live close enough to the bar or whatever. And you just get this weird itch to talk to the homeless guy. You know, this guy's almost condescending, the way he's smirking. He's like, you're a real weirdo. I'm going to waste my time with you.
You've just said that if you could create it, you would.
I think they're very dangerous.
But how do you test that thesis?
Well, it's all philosophy and theory at this point. I cannot test it with instruments, but if you look at video games, if it's something like simulations for climate change simulation.
Climate change. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy's eventually linked to the death cult that is climate change. You know, what do they call it? What is that cult called? Extermination? No. Someone help me in the chat. Jay covered it years ago. A real wacky group of people who advocate, basically they're kind of sort of pseudo-antinatalists, but they're actually for the elimination of humanity. I don't think it's an accident that half of these guys are talking about climate change in every single interview, and they're getting propped up. The last guy we just talked about, right, with the little mustache, looks like he's from a southern show. Looks like he's from Deadwood. He brought up climate change as well. Thank you. Extinction Rebellion. Thank you so much. Yeah. These people are like, whether they're actually propped up to utilize and to reintroduce these narratives like climate change is an absolute joke. To reintroduce it, like, think about that. Like, if you can convince a bunch of people they live in a simulation, then the solutions to climate change, if it were, I don't know, carbon reduction, and if carbon was code word for person, I mean, you could probably get some people. I mean, we already have AI convincing people to off themselves and their moms and their girlfriends. Certainly, if you convince a whole lot of people that we're just in a simulation, certainly death isn't scary, especially if they promised you that your consciousness, being that it's a simulation, needed a place to go. Just store it in another memory cell. Don't worry about it, bro. Don't worry about it, bro.
For scientific experimentation, we have thousands, millions of simulations and only one real world. Statistically, you're a lot more likely to be in one of those simulated worlds.
No, that's not how statistics works.
If every kid has a video game, hundreds of video games, billions of kids around the world.
No, you dum-dum, you whack job, you noodlehead. Video games are in this world. These people are delusional. They're actually mental. We've gotten to a point in modernity where actual mental patients Actual mental patients. Otherwise, like 50, 60 years ago, you'd be like, who's going to take care of him? You know? Before LSD got introduced and the whole, free love movement and all that crap happened, someone would correct this guy so quickly, be like, what are you talking about? The video game is in this reality. Do you know that? Are you aware of that? No, there's millions of simulated realities, and then there's the real world. Really? Where's it? Yeah?
Where do you think you are?
So we could be in either a science experiment or in a computer game.
So again, if you want...
I say lock them up. That's what I say. I'd be the worst king ever. Or I'd be the best king for like 2 weeks until someone got rid of me. I'd be the best shortest term king that ever existed. 1 week. Let's say 1 week. Come on, let's be honest. I'd be cooked in a second. Such nonsense, man. It's all just such garble. All right, let me just look one more time here. It's still a bit early for me. Let me just look at, is anyone else yelling at David Wood or what? Did you guys find anything? I looked into this high chord for you music nerds. A recent thing made, a high chord it's called. Like a 4 or 5 key little synthesizer. Is really cool. I was like, these are rare. These are new, unreleased things, basically. Now I really want one. How does one even have statistics in a world where knowledge is impossible? This is daffy. Yeah, they should be locked up. Insane asylums. Got to bring them back. But now the insane people, they're our politicians and they're our, Hollywood entertainers. Yeah, no second term for me. Yeah, I would be like poison, probably. Most likely. The other thing is statistics, just to point to that. Statistics, unless you're doing some sort of theoretical Bayesian stuff, probability and statistics, you need access to likely scenarios, favorable and unfavorable. You need to use that division as a format, favorable against unfavorable, right? You don't have access to that in a simulation. You don't know what's favorable. That's why I think there's a darker thing behind the simulation proponents. The entailment of simulation itself is a horrifying thing, and it's not just because if you posited simulation was true, none of your actions would truly matter. There's no such thing as culpability. How can a simulated character be culpable? Did you ever, in any meaningful way when you played like Red Dead Redemption, did you ever blame one of the non-person characters? The NPCs? Oh, I can't believe he did that. There's no justice. In a simulation, there's no justice. There's no morality. There's no truth. There's no teleology. What is it? Well, you can get a bunch of people to just think everything I've done up to this point wasn't that bad, especially that guy. When I look at that guy, I think, oh, that looks like a guy who develops philosophy to post hoc rationalize everything he's done up to this point. It's the ultimate, soother. Just soothe. Soothing your past. Terrible. Let's look at these dum-dums real quick.
All right, we're going. So
Alex Malpass looking more and more like a garden gnome every day. And I can't talk, okay? That's not exactly an insult. I just look like a younger one. 2 ways to silence someone is to call them racist and anti-Semitic. Ruslan mobilized the Prot brothers and the Prot Zios of being opportunistic. JP uncircumcised is irrelevant, absent. Yeah, these people are just, their entire identity is opposition. There's no toward anything. Oh, I got someone who not look into orthodoxy. Wow, what? Praise report. Yeah, praise report, son.
So, welcome everyone. I am Stephen from the Skeptical Agnostic, and I'm joined by the one and the only Dr. Alex Malpass. He's fresh off of his debate with William Lane Craig.
My PhD work was in temporal logic and that type of thing. So just sort of mainstream analytic philosophy stuff. This presuppositionalist stuff it's kind of like I don't know, it's sort of recreational philosophy, right? I mean, it's not so much interesting because the philosophical stuff is genuinely interesting. It's more interesting because it's like, well, I think when I first got into the Matt Slick.
Oh man, all they do, it's like well poisoning right off the bat.
Stuff. It was like I hadn't.
Oh, you just call it recreational. So you just immediately start from, look, I'm not going to take it serious, but I'm going to do loads of videos on it.
Really realized the sort of online confrontational debating style with philosophy, because that's not how it's done in academia. People write papers and they discuss things, but everyone's very cordial and nice, or at least they are in the UK and in Europe, where
that's why you guys got taken over. That's where people are very non-confrontational in the UK, which is why when I look out my window, I see no one who looks like me anymore, and they're literally bowing to Allah in the street.
Good King Jumbob, you say throw them outside the gates and onto trains, but most people would say throw them under trains and on top of gates. You would be a good kind.
Oh yeah, I am good.
King.
Thank you. I never looked at it that way, Virgin. I like that. I like that a lot.
I was doing it. Maybe it's an American thing. Maybe it's a sort of evangelical standing on the street corner and saying, you know, prove me wrong, God exists and you know it, or something like that. I don't know.
Very well might be.
That's ironic, given that Speaker's Corners is like one of the staples of the UK. Aggressive, loud, passionate debating in public. The hell are you talking about, son?
Yeah, that's sort of. I found it fascinating.
Dude looks like all three Keebler elves.
That people were using philosophy to sort of punch each other rhetorically with, right? And listening to I don't know how I stumbled across. I think actually I can remember stumbling across the Psi 10 Bruggen video. It must have been in like 2013 or something, absolutely ages ago now.
Yeah.
And being like, what the hell? What is going on with this? And you know, some internet atheist guy getting caught in circles and not understanding what was going on. And
yeah. Why is that? Right? That means the atheists were also doing quote recreational philosophy, which is basically the wholeness of your guy's online presence as well. If we're doing recreational philosophy, so are you. You don't notice how he doesn't do that to the atheists. Oh, they can be online doing philosophy, and it's not recreational as a dig. But when a Christian does it, it's recreational. It's outside the bounds of philosophy. And here he is not writing a paper. He's online doing recreational philosophy. What's the critique, guys?
Yeah. And to be honest, Bruggen made this chap look like an absolute fool. I mean, he didn't have the answers. He didn't know what was happening. He was used to saying stuff about science and biology and this type of thing. And Psi 10 was talking about epistemology and like the metaphysics of logic and stuff. And it was like, hold on, this is like I know more about this certainly than the atheist guy who knew nothing about it. But also it's quite obvious that Psi 10 didn't really know anything about epistemology or metaphysics, and he would slide between this different views on the same topic and misunderstand it, veer from metaphysics into epistemology without realizing and stuff like that. So that
was that a critique? Could you actually talk about and do philosophy without being encased in a sort of tree of branches of philosophy, epistemology, metaphysics, morality, ontology? Yeah, you can separate these things and call them distinct categories, but to pretend that you can just pick up a twig on the ground, connecting to nothing, right? Under the assumption of the myth of the given, right? Of a given, that you can just take a stick of epistemology and have it not be connected to a couple of metaphysical assumptions, or make some metaphysical assumptions and not assume some ontological stances about something. They always act like you can just do philosophy and you just get to decide which branch you're talking about, as if it's not informed or it assumes something about the two other branches.
Encourage me to.
You're disappointed? Why? Because you exposed the nonsense of David Wood? How could you possibly be disappointed at Andrew? He literally he was soft, dude. He was nice. He was like the bartender. He wasn't even in the bar fight. What are you talking about, dude? He literally Andrew didn't even do much. He didn't even lift a finger, man. He was just like, what makes it called? What makes it called?
I think that I could.
Spurgeon, man. You guys need tissues? You guys need tissues for your issues?
It was a sort of
so disappointed.
It was like a big mess, like a messy
disappointed
room that you want to just come in and get a broom out and start cleaning it up or something like.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah, so it's something like that. I think it's just a sort of recreation. It's like doing a Sudoku or something. You just want to complete it and get it all done.
Yeah.
So it's that's my interest in it, I think.
Yeah, and I think look, precepts are really good at, if they're taking on someone that doesn't know much about epistemology, they're really good at cornering them. I mean, despite the fact that their understanding of epistemology a lot of times leaves a little bit to be desired. But yeah, I mean, they're good with their rhetoric as well. But yeah, I don't know. There's just something about precepts that a lot of them are just very much in your face, as we're going to see in some of these videos. But yeah, it's just something about their ilk that they just tend to be a little bit more chest thumping and self-aggrandizing than just normal.
For sure, yeah. They're like it's macho man philosophy, street fighting, right? There are no.
Yeah, so they're the fighters, and you guys are the little women in the stands, being like, "Don't break my nails." What kind of admission is this, anyway?
Women presuppositional apologists, there aren't any. I've never.
He just admitted it, dude. He just literally said what I came to the conclusion. Listen. This is funny.
There's different views on the same topic and misunderstanding. Veer from metaphysics into epistemology without realizing and stuff like that. So that
someone that doesn't know much about epistemology, they're really good at cornering them. I mean, despite the fact that their understanding of epistemology a lot of times leaves a little bit to be desired. But yeah, I mean, they're good with their rhetoric as well. But yeah, I don't know. There's just something about precepts that a lot of them are just very much in your face, as we're going to see in some of these videos. But yeah, it's just something about their ilk that they just tend to be a little bit more chest thumping and self-aggrandizing than just normal.
He just outs himself right now.
For sure, yeah. They're like it's macho man philosophy, street fighting, right? There are no women presuppositional apologists. There aren't any.
You just admitted you're more like women, guys. And listen, Stephen, put your gums away. Sheesh. Yeah. There's also not a lot of women philosophers, okay? Coincidentally, the reality of the difference between men and women, the reality that most men are philosophers, actually is in favor to the Orthodox conception of reality, not your view. Why would the men be the philosophers? Weird.
I've never seen that. And
I haven't either.
15 years of listening to these idiots talking. They're all.
Oh, you just call them idiots? Is that it? Oh, they're all confrontational. I'm just going to call them idiots.
And they are the worst behaved, debaters. You get people like Jim Bob.
Who, excuse me? Me? Look, I'll debate you on physicalism, you little prick. Jim Bob, I'm not even a philosopher, dude. I'm not even considered in even the lowest tier echelon. The fact that this guy just put me in a category is a compliment.
I'm going to watch a Jim Bob clip later. He's the type of person that will just oh, you retard, you fucking idiot, blah, blah.
You literally just called us idiots, dude. Do we need to rewind the tape? What?
And it's like, why?
You little prick.
are you being so childish? Like, one minute you want to talk about like metaphysics, and the next minute you're calling me a retard. Like, it's just a weird combination, you know.
The dude just opened it by calling us idiots. You just literally called us idiots before you talked about anything. You guys don't even know what a woman defend your worldview. Got them. They don't even know what a woman is.
Well, what's interesting is I've seen him do that mostly when he's commenting on someone else's work, but when he's not in front of them. But normally when he's in front of someone, he behaves himself, which is strange. Like, just behave yourself, you know, all the time. Like, but
what? It's called a performance. You wouldn't know. Your live stream sucks. We're suffering through it because it's the topic I like. You're not interesting. Okay? You just admitted that when I'm actually debating, I'm actually well behaved. Yeah, thank you. Why? Oh.
But yeah, I mean that's just something we tend to see from the.
Alex, don't be so afraid of me, Alex. I still have my argument that you literally avoided completely.
The Phil Bros, as they call them, but
there's some crossover with like a sort of toxic masculinity influence.
Oh, toxic masculinity! Oh my God, cry harder.
And presuppositional apologetics.
Oh my goodness, toxic masculinity. Oh, is that Are you doing philosophy, Alex? Toxic masculinity. I'm sorry. What's the criterion for toxic masculinity? You're toxic masculinity. Actually, feminine masculinity is toxic to me. Can you refute me? Oh, toxic masculinity, buzzwords. I'm going to use buzzwords. I'm going to take a 2016 meme. Toxic masculinity. What?
Ethics, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's actually gotten worse over the past couple years, because even back in the day with like Matt Slick and Darth Dawkins.
Can you guys get to anything in philosophy? Anything. You guys wonder why your channels don't grow, man. You don't even know you're just in pure meta. You're not confronting anything. You're just doing Yelp reviews. You're like the Stepford Wives. Just pure retardation. You wonder why we call you dummies. Are you still like, I don't understand. You want to be seen, Alex Malpass, as some sort of philosopher, but you lead with toxic masculinity? What? Dude, you deserve your obscurity. You deserve it. You earned it. You earned your own obscurity. Such losers, man. You're so weak, too. You can't even take, like, masculine rhetoric. Like, you make fun of each other and punch each other in the legs, right? Call each other names. Crack a beer. Oh, that's so very masculine. That's not nice. That's not nice. Chill, bro. Where are your shoulders? Where's your shoulders? Sheesh. Can you imagine being like that? What do they call that? A wanker or something? They have a British term where you're just like stuck up and like snobby. Not a wanker. What is it called? Hey, if anyone listening has a high chord pocket synthesizer, they're really hard to find, and you want to sell it to me or just give it to me for free because you like me, let me know. I would love that. It's actually surprisingly impossible to find. I couldn't believe it. I'm seeing all sorts of things about it, and I'm like, that's cool. That's cool. You plunker? You poofta? No, that's Australian. Stroker? No, it's like a Vengan. It could be Vengan. Hey, Vengan. Yeah, Vengan. Anyway, guys, tonight, great debate. Great debate we have. I love this topic. I don't know why I love it so much, right? I'm not really embedded in church history, still completely learning, total noob, novice. But for some reason, this V2 thing really it gets my goat, you know? And, tonight, it's not a Catholic arguing for it, but it's Gnostic informant, who has his presence online doing a lot of historical analysis in different worldviews and mythology, and he includes Christianity in that. He argues, yes, the Muslims do worship the same God as Christians. Alex Soren is going to be doing the counter. So it's going to be a very nice debate. I'm going to moderate it. It's going to be probably my first serious moderated. We don't count Scud as like a serious platform, right? It's kind of taking the piss, which is why I love it. But this will be my first sort of serious moderated debate on my channel. I think I'll do a lot more of them, because it really is a kind of a missing skill. Andrew and the Crucible, they do debates, but it's not like the old days, They don't really need that format, and honestly, nobody's really replaced that format. So I think that's something to offer that I could do pretty well. So I hope I do a good job tonight. Make sure you're there. It's at 6 Mountain Standard Time. Go click the follow on the stream is up right now. You can go click on it. Make sure you get the follow and the notification bell for it. High Court isn't released yet. It's still a pre-order. Oh, okay. Okay, I hope it's not a big letdown because it's a lot of hype. Every place I found was pre-order, but Wood doesn't realize Christianity is not just a mental assent to basic Protestant positions. It's a lived faith through the sacraments. Yes, glory to God, it is. And he's going to find out because we're not going to let up on him. One day for an interview? Maybe, Steelborn. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know if you noticed this. I don't like, aside from doing my own stream, I don't particularly like sitting around and just talking about something, which is kind of ironic because that's all I do. But, okay. Maybe. Steelborn, maybe. Could be. It's going to be so good. Oh, it's going to be great. I'm really pumped about it. I'm really pumped. And Alex is very promising. He's a very promising debater. His style, he's likable. I don't know why I don't know why he reminds me of like the. It's not his behavior, obviously. You guys ever see what's that movie where the Ted? It's like with a bear. He reminds me of like a teddy bear. I don't know why. I'm not trying to be mean or anything. He's just likable and he's just like this nice, approachable cartoon guy. That's why I'm going to promote the crap out of him. I don't know. It's over real quick. Yeah, well, we're going to see a lot of interesting dancing. So we'll see that. That's going to be good. And I get to do this skill of not debating. I get to do the skill of like keeping quiet, maintaining things, stay on track. So make sure you show up there. Think about your questions in advance. In fact, you're going to send them in super chat form. We'll ask them at the end. No panels. I don't open it up Wild West. Maybe in the future I'll do maybe what the Crucible had done in the past, where you get like 2 select vetted people to call in. Maybe I might do that depending on how it goes, the tech goes. But generally, panels are an absolute disaster, and I despise them. It's like a party bus. That's what a panel is to me. You park the bus, you're on a nice, smooth ride with all the people you like, and then you're like, hey, let's stop in town in the city and open it up to anybody who's on the sidewalk. What? What am I on? Nothing, just coffee right now. What are you talking about? You want to fight me or something? Is that what you need? Huh? Don't get me started. I'll kick something over. Ex-climate activist speaks out. Good. Lucy Biggers. Maybe we are in a simulation. Lucy Biggers? Lunch. I haven't eaten my lunch in my Prius in years. Mixed bag. Yeah, that was fun. Short-lived. Bring it back. I couldn't actually find enough people for that variety of people. It was fun, though. Great intro, though. That was a really good intro. My favorite intro to anything I've ever made was that. The mixed bag one. So good. It got me pumped. I wonder if I have that somewhere, actually. Let me look. Maybe show you guys this. Really, really good one. Let me see. No, that's not it. Let me see. Mixed bag panel. Intro. Yeah. Here we go. Wait, make sure you guys can hear it. Media 2. Hold on, this isn't even the good one. Here, let's do this one. No? Wait, where'd the music go? Ruh-roh. Hold on a second. This one? Okay, maybe this one? There it is. Yeah, this is the right one. So good. Yeah, that makes me miss that too. Just gets you pumped. What's the nice tune? That's oh man. I actually had to buy the licensing for it. 8-bit I don't know, man. It's called 8-bit something. It's like a legit dude who made it too. It's pretty good. It's pretty solid. Gets me pumped. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a mixed bag one. You know, out of nowhere, get a mixed bag. Try to land a bunch of fancy pants people. You know what I'm saying? Anywho. Let's not belabor this stream, okay? Really appreciate all your support, everyone who showed up, even the haters. I was almost at 1,100. Haven't seen that in a month or so. 2 months. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for the support, all the donations, all the memberships, all the super chats, all of the kind words from Vagine, the money coming out of India. I love it, right? I love it. Myth Vision on Scud. Yeah, that could happen. That can happen. I do highly recommend, if you are Orthodox and you want to run a type of dilemma, I might actually start doing some development over at my Discord on that, because it would be good to really press. I think it's loving. It's not to own David Wood. It's not to put David Wood in the chipper. It's to show that it's already broken. He's already in the chipper. I didn't put him in the chipper. He put him in the chipper. And what we're trying to do is build him back up. And if he sees, perhaps through his own methodology against Islam, that his own methodology can be used against him, he might actually stop for a second and think. You know what I mean? He might actually stop and think. It's not that crazy. And it's not mean. Scud? No, tonight's not Scud. Tonight's a more serious debate. It'll still be fun. It's a bit whimsical. But you don't have all the fun. That's only on Scud. You don't have all the fun stuff and the effects and everything. It's just straightforward. Keep your guys' attention. It's a really good topic. So, please hit the like and the subscribe. I've been definitely getting sort of like, I don't know, throttled maybe here and there, however that works. So you guys, I need your help. We're like salmon. We need to swim upstream together. Link to the debate. It's my current stream that's up right now that you can click on and wait in the room for, or hit a notification bell. Maybe Rip can do that real quick. Just grab the stream. And for now, I'm going to look at who you guys might want to go see now. I'm not going to do a super long stream today. I want that pretty consolidated, especially the first part. And Neil and Alex. Yeah, Neil versus Alex. Yep. So that'll start at 6 sharp. I'll tell them to get backstage about 10-2. Sort our tech. Send prayers that our tech is good. And let's take a look at who's live right now, okay? You know what? I'm hungry. I'm not even going to set up a raid, okay? I'm going to be more precarious, more careful, more thoughtful. That's it for me. See you guys tonight, okay? Much love to you and yours. God bless you. Go to liturgy. See you in the chat later, okay?
Jimmy crack corn and I don't really care no more. What he gotta say, it's irrelevant. Once upon a time, could have been a partner of mine. Now he's getting checks from the government. I don't care where your idol stands, protecting his hands from culture jams with the oven. This another soldier got caught, all ain't what you thought. Nothing here is done for the fun of it. I don't care what you say, I'm on some new shit. I don't care if you're digging what I'm doing. I don't care what you think about my music. I don't care, you're not the reason I do this. Always up, always going. I don't care if I die without you knowing. Tried to catch your eye for a stint until I realized what that meant. Jimmy crack corn and I don't really care no more. What he gotta say, it's irrelevant. Once upon a time, could have been a partner of mine. Now he's getting checks from the government. I don't care where your idol stands, protecting his hands from culture jams with the oven. That's another soldier got caught, all ain't what you thought. Nothing here is done for the fun of it. I don't care what you say, I'm on some new shit. I don't care if you're digging what I'm doing. I don't care what you think about my music. I don't care yeah, you're not the reason I do this. Always up, always going. I don't care if I die without you knowing. Tried to catch your eye for a stint until I realized what that meant.